their experience about their cooking and their stuff and the recipes they tried. We also sent them to my mom, talked to my mom about it. We sent them a letter that maybe they could read. Jeremiah the Indian got a letter. There's a letter describing the
Hey! That's it.
Okay, welcome everybody. We're going to get started. Everybody, find a place where you can see and hear and...
Don't do that.
Wait.
We'll start.
I did. Can I start the Skype call?
Yes. Start this guy.
Just wait 1 second, Mom.
Video call, right?
Yes. What does that say?
Can't detect the webcam.
Unplug the thing at the top.
Layla.
Just go do it, Tristan.
Are you Layla? You look like a pilgrim. You look like a pilgrim. Absolutely beautiful.
I'm just going to get them started. I need you to watch that. Yes. And then you're taking...
Hello.
Hello.
Shalom.
Is this at the beginning?
What? Yes. And it says
Tristan?
yeah, we're going to start.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Welcome. This is a presentation, our very first Thanksgiving presentation from the students and the homeschooling families of the Messianic Homeschool Association. This is the first of its kind that we know of. There are other homeschooling organizations. There are many people who have taken history studies of Thanksgiving. But what we're going to do is we're going to travel back in time, and we're going to live for the afternoon all the way back in the year 1620. So you need to leave the modern world behind, and you need to get your mind ready to be in a different time and a different place, okay? So what we're going to be doing today is not about food. That may shock some Americans. The Thanksgiving that we're going to travel to was the first one and the real one. We're going to learn about these people, who they were, where they came from, why they were here, and what happened to them. But it's not about a big feast. And we're also going to learn the truth about their relationship with the people that were here. Because there's a lot of stories. There's a lot of cartoons. There's a lot of false pictures out there. We're about truth and we're about history. And this is not today about getting together to eat a banquet. We can all do that on Thursday. What we're here to do is this is a learning excursion. We're going on a traveling, try to picture the reasons why millions of people go to the Smithsonian Institute. Why do they go to the history of, really any museum? Because they want to find out what happened. It's interesting to us because the more we know about our roots, the more we know what we're doing here. So, I want to introduce the idea. This day was given as a vision to our sister Veronica. And the moment that she shared this vision with me and with the other moms, the more we understood that our God wants us to know truth that's been hidden, truth that's been covered and buried and changed. So now no one recognizes the truth. Well, if we're going to be carriers of God's truth, He embraces all truth and He wants us to have knowledge. There's a lot more strength when we have that knowledge. So we're going to, through a whole different activities, through different ideas, pictures, sounds, smells, tastes. We're going to live through that Thanksgiving with these people. I think you will have a lot more respect for them when you find out who they were and why they were here. I think you will have a great love for the First Nations people and find out this particular tribe, how God blessed them enormously. And when we see God working through history, it strengthens our faith for where we're going. When we see what he's done and we remember what he did, it gives us strength to go now forward from where we are. So, what you're going to be doing today is learning some information and then strengthening that information through different things that you're going to have to actually do. So I'm going to ask the parents, you're here learning with them, but help them, because they don't learn on automatic pilot. They have to be trained how to listen, trained how to look. So be the teacher that God said, teach your children. Deuteronomy chapter 6, teach your children. It's not up to me to teach your children, it's for you, it's your job. So when they're here, guide them. Where are they supposed to be looking? There's too much stuff to see for little ones. So guide them where they're supposed to be looking. Encourage them if they're having trouble doing one of the activities, but go along with them on this journey, okay? And we'll all ride in this amazing Mayflower adventure on this amazing little ship that changed the world and changed history forever. One of a kind. What an honor it was to be on that ship. Okay, now I'm going to leave and give over everything after we say a prayer. All right? So if everybody kind of get your heart in prayer, we're going to invite the Lord to be here. And we're going to invite him to open our minds and our hearts to receive the knowledge that he wants us to learn. Jehovah, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, you are the master leader for journeys. When we read the Torah, we understand that you don't leave your people sitting still. You take them places where they've never been. And you give them courage, you give them zeal, you give them wisdom and help wherever they go. So we invite you here to help us to know who you are. Through the pages of history, we can learn about you. We ask that you come here and reveal all truth, shine your light on the truth, open our hearts and minds to receive the truth, give us wisdom and knowledge that we need to know, and then anoint these servants who have worked so hard to make this day happen. We right now praise you and glorify you and worship you, because you have brought us to such a time as this, to this day. So we walk in it in strength and we embrace it with all that we have, all our strength and all our being. But we don't want to go on any journey. Like Moshe said, if you're not going with us, we don't want to go. So we ask that you would lead us today on this journey through time and this journey closer to you. In Yeshua's name I pray. Amen. All right, take it away.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Governor William Bradford, and this is my wonderful Indian helper here. And so today, as we have a presentation on the first Thanksgiving, I thought a best way to describe it to you, as we're going to have many events, as you see behind you, to learn about this incredible event. I have a question for the children here. How long do you think it took for people on a ship to get all the way over from England to here? Do any little kids know? Maybe Mia or...
Long time?
Like how long?
Maybe hours or minutes.
It's going to take a lot longer than that.
Hundreds of hours?
Close. Very close. All right. This journey took over 2 months to cross all the way over from Europe all the way over to America. And this journey was not a very easy journey. It took a lot of prep. It took a lot of time. And in some cases, it was actually very scary for the people on the ship. They were trapped on the ship. There were storms. And so to get over here, it took a lot of courage to get over here, because it was a very important reason that they were leaving England. All the way back in the year 1620, these people decided to leave England because they wanted to worship our God freely. They wanted to worship our God in the way that He says, rather in the way that the Church of England wanted to, the Catholic Church of England. They left to come over here so that they could follow what the Word actually says. And so, we're going to go through this presentation now, and there's going to be a lot of information that I need you guys to pay attention to, because all the information here is going to help you guys with the stuff that we're going to do in a little bit, okay? So I need you guys to pay attention. Can everyone do that?
Yeah. Yes.
John?
Just that I remember seeing like a history movie with people crossing America to the Atlantic.
Okay, very good. And so that's going to help you later on. All of you guys are going to have to work together to try and answer all the questions we're going to have for you later on, okay? And you too, Jesse, over there on the internet. I need you to pay attention as well. And you too, Jeremiah and Khalil. I will not forget about you. I promise that. Okay. So here we have, a long time ago, all the way back in the year 1620, so almost 400 years ago, there was a ship that left a place in England to leave towards America. And this ship was called the Mayflower. And on this ship, they were going to go on a journey all the way over to America on a ship that looked like this. A ship that didn't have propellers, a ship that didn't have a way to go by itself, a ship that only went by the wind. They had ships like these. They had to cross hundreds of miles to get from Europe to America, only relying on the wind. And so we have a little ship that was over here that left Plymouth, England, to then go across the ocean on boats like these. Oops, more than I wanted. Okay, we have more than 100 people on this little ship, all crammed into the hull of the ship, into the belly of the ship, all packed in there, trying to get over here so that they could worship freely. A freedom that now we have. A freedom that we have now that is guaranteed to us, at least for a little longer. And so they all came over here. 100 people that were all dressed like this, all carrying books, baskets, and their personal belongings, leaving their families, their homes, their friends, all to come over here to start a new life in the new world. See, they all left this little place over here to come over there. So they left this place called Plymouth, England. And when they got here, you probably know of a place called Plymouth Rock or Plymouth in Massachusetts. When they left there, many times you're going to find there's a place in England that when they came over here, they named it the same thing to make it feel like home, but to start over again. So they left Plymouth, England, people like these on a boat, came over to a place and built this, where they have wooden homes. It's not going to look a lot like we have now. Back then they had things that were built very differently. They had to build them by hand. They didn't have machines to build them. They had to use nails and hammers and everything like that to go on a voyage to then create these type of houses where they have their own streets and everything, just like back over here, but a bit different. So it was about a 2-month journey to cross over these waters. Now it could take us a couple days to go from here to there. On a plane it can take a couple hours. But relying on the wind, it took a lot longer. And let me tell you something. It wasn't easy. That voyage was not very easy. There's a lot of things that went wrong, but they had courage. And they knew that they had to get over here and do what was right. So what we had was crew and passengers on a ship, but it wasn't easy because they were all packed into little areas like these where they had small beds and everything like that where they all could sit. And they all had, even the crew on the ship had to meet down there when storms would come or when there was big winds or whichever. They would have to come down in the belly of the ship. So on a normal basis, it wasn't very easy as it was. It was very cramped. But then, when the crew came down, it was even worse.
Say next slide so that people will just tell them what slide you're on.
Okay. And so we're going to be going on to the next slide. So we had passengers trapped down on the belly of the ship because of some of the weather, because of some of the voyage. The passengers could not go up onto the deck of the ship. It was very rare that they're allowed to go up there unless they were helping with something. So they were actually trapped down there, not seeing much daylight whatsoever, for 2 months. So maybe you want to take over the rest of this?
No, you do the cooking.
So we're going to go on to the next slide.
Okay, so along with all the life of the ship not being easy, there came a big storm while they were like halfway coming to the New World.
Let it go.
Going on to the next slide.
So during the journey over here, a lot of things started to break and crack because the ship they had to hurry to get out. So they didn't really have, the ship wasn't like the ones you see nowadays that is made out of metal and strong things. This was made out of wood, not materials that are really good. So leaks and cracks started to appear all over the ship, and one main part actually broke in the ship. And what they had to do was some of the crew members had to quickly fix this like big pole that was in the ship that broke, and if they didn't fix that, they couldn't continue their journey. And during this time, a lot of the people wanted to go back home because they didn't know how else they were going to go on. So all the crew and some of the passengers managed to fix the ship and continued on the journey. So as you can see here, they were like about in the middle way, and here came a big storm.
So we had a big storm that came along, and then we're going to go on to the next slide, because what happened was, after the storm came, and they fixed the ship, after they fixed the ship, fixed the supporting beam in the middle of the ship.
Just say what's on the screen so the people that are seeing that have the PowerPoint and your brother can know, please.
They were far from where they needed to be. They're originally looking to go to a place that we would know now as Virginia. They got blown far from where they needed to be.
Next slide.
Next slide. So as I said, they were looking to land in Virginia. But when the storm came, next slide, they had to stop in Newfoundland, which is all the way up in Canada. So they needed to stop there to resupply because the journey was taking so long. Instead of it taking a shorter time, the storm blew them far off course. So as we saw, the ship was in the middle of their journey. We had the storm, and now, as you can see, the line was originally supposed to go down to where it would be down here in Virginia. They went all the way up here into Newfoundland, where they resupplied and restocked, and then came all the way back down to Massachusetts.
Next slide.
Next slide. Yes. And so then the voyage would end. After they got to Newfoundland, they finally made it safe all the way down to Cape Cod.
Next slide.
Next slide, where you see they landed in Cape Cod, Massachusetts on November 11th, 1620. So they left all the way back in the beginning of in the end of August, they had left. And so here we are all the way in November. They're finally landing down here in Cape Cod, Massachusetts on November 11th. Next slide. So now one of the hardest parts of the journey was now over. Physically getting here was truly a trial in itself. And so now they had to face new challenges.
A lot of people during the way from Plymouth all the way to Newfoundland, a lot of people got sick. And when they got here, it was already winter. It was getting really cold. And because that they didn't know how to get supplies, they didn't know how to keep warm and how to live in this new piece of land that they found, they got a lot of sicknesses, and some sicknesses also that they already had on the ship. Some of those were like scurvies and a lot of outbreaks and sicknesses that could pass to someone else. So a lot of people got sick during this voyage.
Next slide. And as you see, we even have some pictures of some of the crew members that would get sick on the ship. And as you can see there, when they landed here, it was winter. So it wasn't very easy to get better from these sicknesses. And so if we go on to the next slide. When they got here, it was time to rebuild. They left everything behind. They had nothing. And now it's time to rebuild. It took a long time. Now, I want to ask you guys here, and maybe those on the internet, Jesse, Jeremiah, Kalila, if you want, type it up on the screen. Or actually, if you want to say it, I'll go to Jesse first. How long do you think it took for them to build everything here in America so that they could live here at least a little bit?
Maybe if it was that big of a boat, it might have been maybe 1 year. No.
Listen, shush.
That's a very good guess, Jesse. You're very close to how long it actually took. That's very good. Jeremiah and Kalila, what do you think?
Sorry, having a problem finding a line. Very smoky. Just answer him. I think maybe 130 years.
Well, that's a little overboard, but if you're considering to where we are now, that's a closer guess. So, Kalila, what do you think?
It's gonna happen.
A million miles.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Okay. All right, let's go here in the front row, here in the room. We'll start with Alyssa. How long do you think it took for them to build everything so they could live here instead of on the ship? Okay. Fausto?
2,000 years.
Well, that's where we are today. Mia?
2 months.
Okay.
Leilani?
How long? How long do you think it takes to build a house?
Too much.
That's a good idea.
Because I thought you were talking.
Leila?
Leila, how long do you think it took
How long
them
did it
to
take?
build houses and all that?
Do you think it took as long as Mia said, like 2 months? Or longer?
Too much.
Okay.
Okay,
you don't know?
we'll let you
don't
think
know?
a little bit. Sasha, what do you think? We'll come back to you, Leilani.
How long do you think it took? Sasha? Took a long time? How long do you think it took? Come on, it's okay to answer. Whatever you think. It's okay. How long do you think it takes to build a house? You don't know? Okay.
John,
John,
what do you think?
how long do you think it took? Okay, we're going to say 2 months like Mia? Okay.
Leilani, you had a little time to think. How long do you think?
Like 2 months? 1 month? How many months? 3 months?
Okay,
months, okay.
4 months. Okay. Okay, Layla, what do you think? Do you think 4 months? Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty. So here we have, it didn't take 1 month. As we go on to the next slide. Then we go on to the next slide, we see it didn't take 2 months. Then we go on to the next slide, it didn't take 3 months. We go on to the next slide, it didn't take 5 months either. 6 months? No. It took them a total of 10 months to actually build enough housing so that everyone who was originally during those winter months still on that ship. They didn't really come ashore because they didn't have anything built. It took them 10 months from the time they landed here to actually build everything that they needed to build. So that they all could live on land, they could live in the houses that they built. So it took them 10 months to build 10 houses. So you would see that in the winter, they were building these. They had to live on the ship. They had these frames of a house that they were trying to build. And then it would be snowfalls and everything, and ice freezing over on the wood. And they didn't have like gloves like we have now. So imagine this. We all live here in New Jersey, and it gets pretty cold. It gets down like 10 degrees. Up in Massachusetts, it gets even colder. It gets even colder. And they didn't have gloves like we do now. So imagine trying to build a house and you're holding these cold metal nails and a hammer out there in like 2 degrees. Can anyone picture that? Trying to build a house out in 2 degrees?
The men wrote that their coats would get frozen with ice and they couldn't move their arms when they were trying to build. They would have to break the ice on their coats for each other so then they could move.
Connor, that's a bad spot. And so it took them 10 months to build 10 houses and only 3 storehouses. Only 3 storehouses to store enough food, enough supplies, enough of everything to actually sort of feed themselves, to put everything, get everything off the ship, all the people's stuff. And some people even took their pets from back in England. They took their dogs, their cats, and everything like that. So there were just 100 people, let alone feeding the animals and things like that. They took goats
And babies.
and babies.
There were kids on there. There were babies like newborn babies, and to as much as 15 years old on the ship. So a lot of them also got sick.
Along with pregnant women as well, on the ship trying to come over here and start a new life. So in that time, they were all living on that ship in those 10 months. So they had storehouses that looked like this, that were just pretty much plywood in ways that, as we would understand our plywood today, it wasn't very sturdy. So it took them 10 months to build this whole thing, to build houses and storehouses. But then, sometime in the spring, as they were wondering when, as the weather's getting finally warmer up there in Massachusetts, help arrives. On March 16th, 1621, so almost a full year later, after they arrived here at Plymouth Squanto, along with Samoset, thank you. Samoset arrived home. What happened was, while the pilgrims were coming over here, and while there were people exploring this land, the Indians, the American Indians, the American natives, did not know the sicknesses. They did not know the sicknesses that the people in Europe had. So when people came over here, they didn't realize these people were going to get sick. And so what happened was, the Indian people, actually got very sick when they came over here. And what happened was, Squanto, came over here. He had been taken with the Europeans back to England. And when he came back, all of his people were gone.
Can you imagine that?
Imagine that. You leave your home for a couple years, and then when you come home, there's nobody there. They all died. They weren't around anymore.
His wife and daughter.
Yes, his wife and his daughter had died because the Europeans came over here with sicknesses that they didn't know. And so what happened was, he, along with Samoset, one of the people that accepted him when he came back here, came to the Pilgrims when they were building their houses. They still weren't done. He came over here and started talking to them. Samoset, actually a Native American, spoke English. Both Samoset and Squanto both spoke English because they were both prisoners back in Europe. They spoke English, and they actually said, welcome, adventurers. Welcome to a new home. And the Pilgrims were actually dumbfounded. They were in awe. And actually, at the same time, giving thanks to God that they sent somebody who was peaceful, somebody that wanted to help, somebody that was welcoming to them. And we have diaries, we have letters of this day, March 16, 1621, of the prayers and the thanks that they gave to God for sending somebody who could help them. And so we have Squanto arriving home, because this is where his family lived. Samoset, his family actually lived up in upstate New York, as we understand today. So a bit south of where they were. If we go on to the next slide, we have Squanto arrives home, but he doesn't just arrive home and say hello and leave them. He does something that they didn't expect. The Pilgrims actually were taught by Squanto. As each one of these things I'm going to say, go on, click the next slide because it will appear. They had planting. He taught them how to plant in the rocky New England soil. He taught them how to fish in the New England waters, the rivers, the ocean, off the waters of Cape Cod, as that's a very big fishing industry now. It started all the way back in the 1600s. In the 17th century, we learned how to do the fishing off of the coast. We had hunting. As up there, they had a lot of deer. There were a lot of wild turkeys and all these waterfowl. And everything there was very plentiful because the Indians understood how to not overhunt. They understood how to not overexpose the life cycles there to the humans, but allow them to reproduce and then also get enough food and use the skins. They taught the Pilgrims how to use the skins and the furs to keep them warm during the winter, how to store up for the winter. And all in all, taught them how to survive in the New England area. And this was all taught by two men, Samoset and Squanto. Once they found out that the Pilgrims were friendly and not hostile, they understood that they allowed them to understand the survival in this area. I know, I'm sorry. And so what happened was, how easy do you think it would have been those first couple months when they got here to try and plant? Do you think it would have been easy? Right. Who here has done gardening at home? Okay, Mia. All right. When you do gardening, even small gardens are a lot of work, as I'm sure you, Jesse, Kalila, Jeremiah, you guys have probably done a good amount of gardening out there with you guys. As you know, gardening is not easy. Just taking care of a garden may be this big, as big as this table. It's not easy. Now imagine trying to grow food for 50, 60 people to live. Mia?
It's something about my garden. They used to be alive, except they already died because I see they're already crunchy and brown.
Right. Because they all live in a cycle. They all live at a certain time of year. And up in Massachusetts, it's even shorter than the time we have here in New Jersey. New Jersey, it's like about 5 months you can grow things. Up there, it's about 4. It's about 4.5, maybe. Because of the climate. As I said earlier, it gets a lot colder up there a lot faster. So what happens is they had to grow a lot of food really quickly to put in those storehouses that we talked about a little while ago. And so if we go on to the next slide, what they did is they decided to bring them even more help. Instead of the few men that could grow enough food for 60 people, they brought help. they brought over their chief, their Indian chief. His name was Massasoit. And so the thing is, they brought their leader, if we're going to the next slide, to sign a contract of peace with one another. And so what they did is here another blessing came to the pilgrims for coming over here and wanting to celebrate and to follow our God the way that He wanted. And so they sign a contract of peace with them so that they'll always work together, that they'll help one another, that if they need things from one another, they could help each other and live the life that they wanted to live. And many times the Indians were actually very interested in the new lifestyle of those from England. They were very interested in the way they lived, the way they ate, the way they did things. So here we have a picture of the, as you can understand, signing a contract. They had a written document that they actually signed out to keep a peace with them. If we go on to the next slide.
Okay, so the Samoset and Squanto's leader, Massasoit, sent some men into the forest to bring some gifts to the pilgrims, to show, to bring gifts for them to show you're friendly, because like we all know, when like you have a new neighbor or somebody new that you're gonna spend some time with, you bring them a gift, or you invite them over to your house to show that you're friendly and you want to be their friends. So that's what Massasoit did. He sent some men into the forest to get food, such as pictures we have up there.
They went into the forest, they caught deer, they caught ducks, waterfowl. There is recordings of them catching a lot of waterfowl. And actually, in letters that we have, they had, as I said before, an abundance of wild turkeys in the area, and in which we all enjoy today. They also had, on the shoreline of Massachusetts and Cape Cod, a lot of clams. Even though we know we should not be eating clams, they went and they got many clams for them to eat.
Just so everyone, especially the adults who are paying attention, clams, but there are letters that were written. The pilgrims struggled because when they ate the clams, they all got sick and they didn't know why. Just keep that in the back of your mind.
So then after hunting, after Massasoit sent all some men into the forest to get, like this guy said, to get the turkey, the waterfowl, the deer, and the clams, they finally served dinner. They served the first Thanksgiving dinner. And there was a lot of food that they gathered, that there was enough to last a whole week. So nowadays we only do one evening of a dinner for Thanksgiving. But for the first Thanksgiving, they had a whole week. So that's 7 days of talking to the Indians, getting to know them, and eating a lot of food.
So what they did is that after they sent for the hunt, they presented it as a gift. But what they did is they actually shared their food, as also the Indians were coming out of their winter as well. So they shared the food as a Thanksgiving day unto God for allowing them to survive this first winter. And this happened all the way in November, a year later after they landed. It is said that the exact day is somewhere between November 11th and November 23rd, the day that they actually ate, a week spanning in that time. And so they actually had so much food. As we said, it lasted a week. But then also, they offered as a day of thanksgiving unto God. It's where we get the name Thanksgiving as we understand it today. Back then, it was a true day of thanksgiving. Why? Because they came over here, leaving a life that they understood to come to a new life, and they were thanking God every single day of the week for this harvest that they had. It was a day of their fall harvest. As we have here, even in New Jersey, we get our fall harvest, and around the country we get our fall harvest. But back then, the soil was actually so fertile they could grow a lot more, a lot faster. And it was a day that they truly wanted to thank God and to thank Him for all that He did for them and all the blessings that He gave throughout the journey as we spoke about, just a few of them, the few blessings that they received, being able to fix the ship, finding a place in Newfoundland to restock, meeting up with actually some Indians that were friendly. As we find out through history, there were many Indians that were not very friendly at all. They were not friendly. And so when they meet up with somebody who was friendly, it was another blessing that they saw. And then to have enough food to last a whole week is another blessing. So, like, who here does cooking with their parents?
I sometimes do.
Okay. Fausta, I know you do. I know you help your mom, like, on Fridays. I know you help your mom do that stuff. Alyssa, do you help? Right. So, and is it easy to cook things?
No.
Right. It's not very easy. So imagine cooking enough food for almost 100 people for a full week. Who here has like 5 people in family? Right. There's like 5 people. Fausta, you have 7.
I have more than 5.
Exactly. You have 7. Out there in the Bartholomew house, you guys have 5. Alyssa, you guys have 4. So just to, huh?
How many sit down to your table? 6.
Mom and Dad.
So what we get is a lot of people and cooking a lot of food. That would be a lot of work. And they were actually able to get it all done.
No microwaves.
Yes. No stoves, really. They had only open fires. Imagine trying to cook with all open fires. Out on a camp stove, I can tell you, it is not easy to boil water. It takes a good half hour sometimes to boil a pot of water. And they brought their pots and everything over here. They had big pots and everything like that. So it was very difficult to cook all that food.
Another thing that because remember that we said that they were coming over here because they wanted to follow God, the real way that God wanted us to follow. Another thing that we found out was that in this Thanksgiving they were trying to do the holy day that we do as Sukkot, but they were trying to do it to what they knew. They were trying to do it to the best of their ability. That's another thing I wanted to tell you guys, because some other people may tell you otherwise. People can tell you that they just kind of did it because. They'll tell you because they wanted to say a thank you to the Indians, but not to God. They won't tell you that they were trying to do Sukkot. They won't tell you that they actually took those 7 days to praise God for everything that He gave them.
And that is also very true. They understood, as I said about in the beginning, they wanted to follow what Adonai had told us to follow. And so the thing is, they came over here looking to do just that. And so their first fall harvest, they gave thanks unto Adonai to show that they were thankful for all that He had done to them, done for them, done to them, put them through, and got them through. There's a lot of things that they had to understand, that following Him was not going to be easy, as we know. Following Him, especially coming out of other faiths, Catholic, Baptist, whichever, making a change to following Him in the way that He wants is a very big change. It's very hard to do. And so in that journey, they wanted to be thankful for Him allowing them to get through it. Have anything else? Okay. And so as you see here, this presentation was put together by the Beth Goyim Sora Ministry and the MHSA Teens for you guys. And as you see, it's on the next slide, or the last slide of your presentation. This presentation was put together by the teens, and also a lot of help by the parents of said teens. As you see there on the board, there's a lot of information provided by the parents. So I want to personally thank Veronica Mangeris for doing a lot of this work and helping us organize this event. I want to thank Wanda for sending us a lot of information on the recipes, the costumes, and everything like that. I want to thank you very much. I want to thank Lisa for getting us all those pages that you scanned in and sent over to us. It was a lot of great information. And then also to Ariana for participating in the events and the planning, as well as Jennifer. So this is And also thank you to Rebbits and Kelly for getting all of this, or helping us organize all this and doing a lot of the meetings and organizing that, as that was also a very big help as Brittany and I were trying to get the physical projects that you see here done. Ow! Yeah. So, okay, as we got, before I do that, up next, I don't know, Wanda, did you have a chance to check out the email that my mom had sent you very recently?
Yes, I did, and I was wondering if I might have a little bit of help here. My niece and my nephew came to visit, so I thought it'd be easier to read it if they help me read it. Is that okay?
Yeah, we were wondering if maybe Jeremiah and Kalila, and if your other nephews want to help, that would be great too.
Okay, great, thanks.
All right, drop it.
Who do you want to start first, the Pilgrim or the Indian?
Drop our camera and tell them to bring on their camera.
Okay, hold on one sec, Wanda. What we want to do, we actually have a letter that was written from a child's perspective of what went on during this time period. And what we're going to have is our Native Indian counterpart in Virginia and our Pilgrim counterpart in Virginia. If you'll put your camera on, Wanda, they're actually going to read those letters to give us an understanding of how it was back then before we move on to all our other stuff. Okay?
It's not just a general Indian.
Okay. I'm trying to put the camera on now. Okay, here we go. This is from the Pilgrim child.
Your mom forgive me
Connor, tell them we can. Oh, okay. We can see you guys.
for being so long between letters.
After the great sickness, it seemed that there was little good to write about. By the time spring arrived, nearly half of our number had died. 'Twas truly mournful time. Since then, we have continued to build houses and have planted our gardens and made many acres of our English corn. In time, I think we may come to prosper here. We have even begun to grow a curious corn that we call Indian corn or turkey. How we learned to grow this Indian corn was most unexpected. Last spring, a tall Indian walked into our town, causing great alarm. To our great astonishment, he spoke in our tongue, saying, "Welcome, welcome, Englishmen." He told us that his name was Samoset and that he had learned English from fishermen to the north of here. Samoset returned the next day with Tisquantum, whose English was as fine as yours and mine. Tisquantum told us how his people used to live.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, how his people used to live where we now live, but that a few years before we arrived, a plague had come and wiped out the town. He has been a great blessing to us, showing us how to grow Indian corn in mounds. He even told us to put herring in the ground to make the corn grow better. It works as well as using manure, and our harvest was quite fine. Tisquantum also showed us how to fish and the best places to hunt. I fear that we would not have survived here were it not for the help of Tisquantum and others. To celebrate our first harvest, our governor, Master Bradford, called for a celebration. 4 men went hunting wild fowl and brought back enough geese, ducks, and other birds to last nearly a week. We ate, played games, and the men practiced shooting their muskets. The Indians came among us as well. Among them, their greatest king, Massasoit, and more than 90 men. I I was most frightened at first, but then they stayed for 3 days, and we entertained and feasted them. And they went out and brought us 5 deer. While they were here, I even saw some of their children. One boy, father says, he thinks that his name is Po Met a Comet. Threw a ball at me. Of course, he could not speak English, and I could not speak the Indian tongue. And now we have a new ship in the harbor. It is wonderful that we have new folk to settle here. But I fear that our harvest, which seemed plentiful enough, will not be enough for all of us and the newcomers. Father says that we will fill the ship full of timber and furs to send back to England. Perhaps on the next ship they will send over cows. Dearest Aunt Constant, I truly hope that you will come to join us in New Plymouth. I pray that soon we will be a thriving town. Your loving niece, Lizzie.
Okay, now Indian boys, not turn the camera off. Okay.
We're going to now hear from the Wampanoag Indians.
Okay, let them be 2 sentences. Go ahead, question.
I don't know if I can sleep tonight. Tomorrow we will go to see the English at Petwick's, the has been there with 90 warriors and has said the English are holding a celebration to give thanks for the harvest, even though Massasoit had made an agreement with the English last spring to be allies. If either should go to war, he was troubled by the news. The many may shout for their weapons that they called muskets. When Massasoit and his warriors arrived, they weren't certain what they would find. They found that the noise came from the men hunting to get enough food for a feast. Some of the other men were practicing shooting these strange weapons, too. They invited our people to stay and join in their celebration. Now, Father and I will go there, too. I will tell more after I have seen the coven. I do not know why these so-called English cover themselves with so much clothing. It must make it difficult to move through the forest or to fish, and it looks so strange. Still, they have proven that they are able to hunt using their muskets. I am so curious about these English. They live in strange square houses, wear curious clothing, and keep old animals near their houses. Okay. Some of their food is very strange as well. At least we had deer to eat, which some of our people had presented to the English. Sakem, they call Bradford. While I was there, I saw some of the English children playing with a ball. like the deerskin balls that we used to play football. The ball dropped on the ground and rolled toward me, so I picked it up and threw it back to a girl about my size. I was hoping that they would motion me to play with them, but just then someone, I think it was the girl's mother, called. Listening to her, I don't think she wanted the girl to ask me to join their game. We will sleep one more night here outside of the village of the English. Then we will return home in the morning. I'm trying to stay awake for our dancing, but I'm afraid I'll be asleep before it even starts. I can't wait to return home and tell my friend about all that I have seen. Diary entry of 12-year-old Pamatecomet. A fictional member of the
Poconoket
tribe of the Wampanoag Nation. Wampanoag word. Chicken, chief, Pinsal, warrior, counselors valued of courage, wisdom, and strength. Only the strongest of boys is selected to be a Finisi. Autumn boat. Fetching, attaching feathers to a staff of an arrow with blue and animal seed. Kohadash. Arrows.
That is a long word for just a small word.
All right, thank you, Jeremiah and Kalila, and also the other ones down there. I'm sorry, I don't know your names, I'm sorry. But thank you very much for that wonderful reading. That was our Wampanoag counterpart down in Virginia. And so what we had, as we heard, was a lot of history and a lot of interesting perspectives from somebody who's actually living there, where we actually get our custom to actually have football on Thanksgiving. It was even done at the first Thanksgiving, they had football.
Awesome. The Giants were there.
America. So what we get is even some of the little things that we do today, even went on back then. And so what we get is from a personal perspective. We had things from the governor's perspective. We had things from the Indian chief perspective. We had other officials that would offer their perspective and their writings. We even had some poets and everything like that that would write. But we never actually got too many of the perspectives of somebody who was an ordinary person, a townsperson, what they would see go on day to day. And so what we get here is something very different. And so now, what we want to go on to is actually our next station, as those of you who are looking at the program that we sent out, or those here in the room, we're going to go on to our next station. Our next station is the authentic cooking that they would actually do back on the first Thanksgiving day, some of the dishes that they would cook. And so what we got up next is we're going to cook a dish called turkey sobeg. What? The little one. Yeah. Okay. So what we got up here is we're going to have each one of the kids here participate in actually making this dish. We've got turkey. We've got, actually, probably better if you explain this one. So you were there. You helped, because, yes, you have to tell them.
Okay, so like he said, we have turkey, some herbs, and stuff like that. We have also some vegetables, like a couple of.
You have to tell me not like what's in it.
I have to look.
Just like,
Okay, yeah, okay. So there's like some beans and different types of beans in here that we also will add in, and some of the green beans, and like I said, herbs. I'm pretty sure there's sage in here. And we have the sauce and gravy. Okay. And we have the sauce the gravy that's gonna go into this whole thing.
Now this recipe, where did you get this recipe from?
The internet, yeah. No.
We got this
No,
recipe.
this recipe is from the first Thanksgiving. What was it? Wampanoag tribe. This dish is from the Wampanoag tribe from the first Thanksgiving. This was one of the dishes that they brought to their dinner table.
The reason that they originally brought this dish to the reason that they brought this dish to the first Thanksgiving is because it's a very simple dish. It's a dish that a lot of the people could grow. The beans were very easy to grow in the rocky soil of Massachusetts, and so were a lot of these other things, as they had an abundance of wild turkeys we spoke about earlier. These are all herbs that were native to Massachusetts and the New England area, so it was actually very easy for them to cook after this actual event. They could continue to cook it. It had a lot of nutrition in it. It had a lot of good things for you, and it was very simple to make. What it is you kind of you cut up a lot of the fall vegetables that you usually see, your squashes, your beans, and things like that. You put it into the turkey stock. You take your turkey, you put it in. You take the beans, you put it in, and then you kind of just let it simmer for a while. It's usually about an hour. About 2 hours, you let it simmer and kind of make your own stew out of it. It's more or less like how we would understand it, a stew. And so what we're going to do now is, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay, 6, 7. I'm trying to think who could actually do this. All right. How about this? We'll start with Alyssa. Yes, we have a spoon.
we need more plastic.
The beans. Can we have a spoon? Okay, Alyssa, we're going to start with you. We're going to actually going to make this dish. We're going to allow you a smaller spoon to get it into the pot. Alyssa, come up here. What we're going to do is we're actually going to mix this together and actually make this dish so we can actually eat it later. We're actually.
Please pay attention.
So once we get a spoon to mix this all in, because we won't mix it. Thank you.
Okay, now
You want to put it in bowls? You want to serve it to the kids?
no, we have to cook it first.
Oh, we got to cook it.
What we're going to be doing, everybody, just so everybody knows, we're going to be preparing a couple of dishes so that the kids can see what the ingredients look like before they make it, and then they're going to taste what they create after we cook it. There's other things we're going to do while the food is cooking, but the kids are going to see the ingredients, look what's in there, and look how to do this, and then we'll heat it up, and then we'll be able to eat it later, so they can taste what they created today. The people who are at home on the internet, they have ingredients that they've prepared for their houses, so they are ready to put it together in their homes. So the homes that are connected to us on the internet are cooking similar foods. So they're going to actually have the feast with us even though they're not here. Okay? So all these children are going to create something and we're all going to taste it later.
We'll mix that in a second. Okay, 1 second. Okay, what we got, Alyssa, we're going to first mix in these beans. I'm going to have you do half, and then Mia, I'll have you do the second half of this, okay? So wait there. Alyssa, stand up next to your sister. That'll be great. Mia, just stand up next to your sister. Okay, Alyssa, I want you to put half of these beans into this pot, okay? So take that spoon. I want you to mix it into this pot. Just take it from here with the spoon, as you would a bowl. You can use 2 hands. 2 hands. Huh? Oh yeah, I was gonna have them to do this one, and then 2 people do the other one. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Go back to the line. Mia, come here. Yeah, go this way. Yeah, go around that way. All right. So Mia, I want you to put some more of that in, so everyone kind of gets a turn. You do the spoon, Brittany will hold it.
It's coming, yeah.
Faster. This way. This way. Faster. Yes, that's the enter. No. Have them stand in the back line. Hold on. Let me take your hat just so it doesn't fall off, okay?
Okay.
Just like you're helping at home. Like right there. Okay?
Where's Charlie? Get over here, Charlie. We're doing ingredients.
Pass.
Oh, good job there, Sasha.
It's my
You're next.
You're next.
Little John. All right, Little John. Wait. We're gonna go back right side. Go back right in.
All right, wait. Easy. Take it easy.
Little John.
No, don't make
Okay.
Good job.
Good job.
Take it again.
Okay, we still gotta do one more.
Thanks, Little John.
Okay,
Right.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Come on. You're gonna have another turn in a minute, okay? It's okay. It's okay.
You're gonna come back later, okay?
Okay?
Leon.
Here, come closer to the bottom. I want you to do it. Your bottom. Put it in.
Oh, learn how to cook, Leon.
Me too.
That's right. Cooking's good.
Yeah, wait.
You gonna try, Jovi?
And you want to maybe put the rest of it in and we'll do the next part? Yeah.
Go around. Wait.
Oh, okay, Jovi. Okay, come here.
Go around the other side.
Come here, Jovi.
Right this in and come around. Hey, Jovi.
There you go. Very good, Joviana. Yeah, pop the rest of it in. That. All right. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a turn again.
All right, now we're gonna do the next part. I guess we'll do the other beans. Yeah.
Camera, Connor.
Okay, so you do this one. Okay. Come closer to the bottom. Yeah. Some more. Yeah.
Okay. Stop pushing it.
Okay.
Wow, Liz. You might become somebody's wife someday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Faust.
You might be able to cook for yourself besides microwave. I can boil water,
She
yeah.
did pancakes today.
You made pancakes today? You made pancakes today, Liz? Yeah.
You know, hold on, wait, shake it up. So,
Yeah.
Fausto, just wait 1 sec. Just 1 sec, okay?
Peppers.
Thank you, Fausto. Just let her loosen it up, okay? That's okay. Go ahead.
There we go. Now let's open the rest.
Whoop.
Sasha?
Sasha.
They put it in.
I'm a picker. Walk by you.
Definitely give it what she likes.
Go, Sasha! Wow, Sasha! Woo, what a job, Sasha! Tossing the beans. All right,
Okay, John. Easy. Okay, wait.
Now wait on your one.
Little John, your turn. Oh, don't lose our beans.
Okay, one more. We're gonna do another one. Okay.
Wow, you're being like dad.
Very good. Very good. Okay, now go wait. Lila, come on.
Lela.
Johnny, here. Here you go. Lilani. Lilani, come closer.
Put it in the
Closer.
bowl, Lily.
Now put it in the bowl.
Oh.
Wait.
Hey, you got one more, Lila.
Okay.
Lilani, here, throw one more.
Then there's enough for Jovi.
And then Jovi gets to go.
Jovi!
Jovi, Wobi, Silly, Sobi.
Hold on, Jovi.
In the bowl. Oh, good job.
Okay, now get the rest in there. Wait, stop.
Leave it a little beat. Go back to the line. Go to the end.
No, go to the back. Go to the back.
Go to
Go to the back.
Jovi, go to the back. Now do the turkey next, because then it mixes, and then turkey mixes with everything.
Right.
I'm gonna wear it. Mia.
Okay.
It's turkey.
Turkey, my favorite.
Okay.
Is that wild turkey?
All right, everybody. So what we got is this is turkey silva egg. Now we're gonna actually add the name ingredient of turkey into this dish, so it would kind of be similar to what we eat today, where we have turkey on Thanksgiving. Turkey silva egg.
Okay, Mia, you.
So do 1 spoon each.
Yeah, I know. Alright, thank you.
Okay, Mia.
Bring it over here, man.
Melissa.
Okay, listen.
Don't toss your turkey.
Brittany.
It's a little gobble.
Okay.
Don't gobble it.
Hold on,
Whoa.
Don't drop no turkey there, pals. I know your brother's
There we
chicken
go.
lips. Alright, Sasha watching. Oh, good job there,
Okay.
Sash.
Good job.
No.
Little job.
John. Jovi.
Jovi, wait your turn.
Wait, you have to wait for that?
Jovi, wait here.
No, she's after Layla.
Yeah, she has to wait.
Oh, wow, John.
Very good.
Good job.
Very good, Johnny.
Good job.
Okay.
Alright.
That's it, Johnny.
One
That's
each.
it.
John.
One each. John.
John.
One each. One each, okay?
We're gonna come back for this one, okay?
We're gonna come back. You have another turn. It's okay. Come
You're
on.
gonna come back.
Back to the end of the line.
Go. Layla.
Good job. Good job. Good job, Layla.
Okay.
Jovi, Wobi, Silly, Sylvie.
Jovi.
Chicken lips.
Chicken eggs.
Go ahead,
That's
Jovi.
not chicken, it's turkey.
Good job, Joey.
Whoa.
Very good, Jovi. Very good.
All right. Gotta mush it around.
Yeah, we'll do that afterwards.
Sort of like the cake thing, but a little rascal. 3, 1.
Sage.
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 All right. In New England, you would find many of the herbs that you find even here in New Jersey, but you get things like sage, hyssop, mint, garlic, and many other spices that we commonly use in our cooking today. But certain ones, specifically sage, is associated with turkey because it's one of the main spices that we use in turkey, which makes it taste like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Honor. Camera.
Yes, I'm done.
I'll give each one of you a pinch for each.
Yes, just a little.
Just a little bit, okay? Just grab a little bit.
So that's why it's a pinch. Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Good job.
Okay. What's up?
Excuse me.
Take a pinch.
Now you get to sit no more.
Pincers.
No, they have to still slice the
Yeah.
mushrooms, but.
And we need to mix it. Oh, the mushrooms are going in here?
Hey, Paso Wilson.
Okay, pasta.
Shrooms, baby.
Where are the mushrooms?
It's behind you.
Good job. That's a big pinch.
Oh, we have to cut that.
You can eat it. Tastes good.
Okay,
Okay, Sasha, Faust.
Sasha, your turn.
Sasha.
Okay, just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit.
Take a pinch. Go.
I-
Double fingers in there.
Are they cutting the mushrooms? Who's cutting the mushrooms? Should they?
Now we're putting grass in there.
Alright.
Okay, come sit down,
All
Sasha.
right, sit down.
Johnny, you're next.
Yeah.
Jovi, you're
Yeah.
after Layla.
Jovi, back up.
No.
Okay, come on.
Fingers. Jovi.
Jovi, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Stand behind Layla. Stay behind Layla. It's your turn next.
All right, that's good.
Okay.
Go sit down, Johnny. Come
Go sit
over
down.
to mommy. Johnny, come over here by mommy.
Layla.
Just a little bit, okay?
Sit by mom.
Just a little bit, okay?
Go sit by mom.
There you go. Okay.
Jovi, come on.
Come on, Jovi, your turn now.
Joviana. Okay, just a little bit, okay? No. Just a little bit. Okay, that'll do.
What? Oh, he's got the tissue. He's got something coming out of his nose.
Okay. Jovi, go sit.
Come over here, Jovi. Sit over here.
Go sit next to Sasha. We should mix this up, or I think your mom said they're cutting mushrooms.
You want to cut up the shroom?
Wow, that looks delicious. Is it ready to eat yet?
Now we have to cook it now.
I'm hungry. All right. Okay. Now, we know that they had several different dishes.
Is this going here?
Yeah. Does everybody, what is this thing, kids? Does everybody, do the kids know what? Can you get this on camera? Now, mushrooms grow everywhere. Jehovah planned the earth in a really amazing way. You can go anywhere on the planet and find mushrooms, but they all come in different shapes, different colors, different sizes. And yeah, it's something special. You have to know which ones are good to eat, though, okay? So you can't go and just eat any mushroom that you find, okay? Everybody listen. You can't eat the ones that you find just growing anywhere unless somebody teaches you. So we already learned the Indian tribes that were helping, they lived in the area and they knew which mushrooms were good. There were a lot of wild mushrooms in the forest that they could eat. They're really good for you and they taste yummy. Now, there's some mushrooms, Jehovah has designed them. There's a mushroom that's been growing for over 200 years in California, and it's growing underneath the forest. And it's almost the size of a whole city if you could dig it up, but it's so big they can't, okay? So mushrooms are pretty amazing. This is a pretty big one. Now, I have in the silver pot there something they really had at the first Thanksgiving, which is venison. Remember? Now, what did the hunters find? What did Tristan and Brittany tell you the hunters found in the forest when the hunters went to get the food?
Deer.
They found deer. What other animal?
Deer.
Wait, yes. And what other animals did they get? Did you remember the pictures that were up there?
Elephants.
No, they didn't have any elephants.
What?
Ducks. Wait. Ducks.
Clams.
Clams and what else? And turkeys.
Turkeys.
Yeah. So we're going to try a little venison today. I have a recipe of venison. It's for venison and wild mushrooms. And this is like a really huge mushroom. So you guys are going to help us because you're going to put the mushroom into the pot. But what you're going to do is I want you to see what a mushroom is like and how soft it is. You can cut it with plastic knives. So you guys are going to come up here and help us chop it up to put it in there, okay? So let me get it ready. Well, how many kids we got? Seven.
Seven.
There's plenty of mushroom here for everybody.
They're right here.
You want to just like have like
Yeah. First we're going to cut off the stem. I wanted you guys to see what it looks like without it being cut, okay? God makes the mushrooms, John. What's inside it? Well, you know what? Mushrooms are pretty cool. Does anybody know how mushrooms grow?
They grow. They just grow. They just grow themselves.
Do they have seeds like regular tomatoes and cucumbers? No, they're very different.
They have honey inside.
mushrooms are pretty amazing too. You can eat the whole thing, the stem and the top.
I have ate some. I have ate some in my salad.
Yes, we did have some. Actually, we had mushrooms.
I eat mushrooms.
So we're going to have 2 people come up at a time, and I want you to chop these pieces up so we can mix it in the venison, okay? Yeah, you're going to have a turn, Jovi. Don't worry. You have a turn, too.
Mia.
All right, now you're going to chop that up so we can put it in. Can you bring the venison over and switch pots?
So should we start chopping?
Yes.
Cut it up.
Yeah? It's gonna be fun.
It's okay, you can hold it with your fingers, Alyssa. It's
Yeah,
okay.
make Mia like that.
Yeah, so it doesn't roll away from you. Because if it rolls away, it'll escape.
They don't have legs.
Okay, so chop it up in bite-sized pieces so that nobody chokes on it, okay? And then we're gonna put.
John, go sit down.
Wait your turn. Spoons, where did they go?
Hold the spoon for me.
Can we also put them small?
Yeah, that's good. Like that's good.
That's perfect.
What?
Yeah, if you can put
John.
it in here.
Okay, your turn.
Now, in this pot, I already, in the recipes for the venison, it has venison, which is deer meat. Fausto was right. And it has something called leeks. Leeks are related to onions. They grow everywhere, but they grow in New England. They're very easy to grow. And it also has green onions or scallions in it. And for just a little meat broth to make the gravy and a little, they would have used corn flour or cornmeal because they had a lot of corn. They did not have a lot of wheat. When they had the first Thanksgiving, wait, Joviana, wait. Okay, so they did not have a lot of flour or white bread or dinner rolls like we have on our Thanksgiving plates. They had a lot of cornmeal. So they didn't have flour tortillas, only corn. Everything that we're going to be tasting today is based on the letters and the books that were written by the Pilgrims of what they really ate that day. So we're not just making this up from some movie. We actually read what they served that day. So they did have a lot of corn flour, which they made their breads, and they used it to thicken their gravies and whatever else they could use it to eat. Okay?
Are we going to do it by ourselves or Tristan will do it?
No, we're going to put it in here.
I was wondering if it was on or not.
Fausto, Sasha, and Joviana.
Yes, you're next. You're next. John, wait, you're next.
3 at a time. You're in the second group. You don't want to do? Go ahead, Sasha.
Sasha, cut it into little pieces, but not too small.
So that the people won't choke.
Okay, you're cutting fast, cheese. She's doing that fast.
Wow, Sasha, great job.
Go, baby.
Who's it? Next. After this group. Next. We'll call your name.
This Sim's a good part.
Then who's going to do the rest of the mushrooms?
Well, we'll see.
Don't worry, everybody's going to take another turn.
Layla already went.
Thank you, Sasha.
Okay, Sasha, Fausto, and Juliana went already. And now John's the only one left.
Okay, thank you, Fausta.
So
That's good.
everybody, was it
That's
hard
good.
to cut the mushrooms?
Fausta,
No.
that's good.
No, they're soft, right?
That's good. Thank you.
They kind of look hard the way they grow. They look like in the cartoons, they always have them like a little house for the animals to climb under, like an umbrella, you know. But they're not very hard.
Do we want to give everyone one turn? One turn, do you want to?
For each, one turn because we have the cranberries to go in.
Okay. No, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, you guys
Everybody's
turn. You guys help.
Oh, wow, John, you're doing a good job just like you had.
Chop that one up and put it in because I got to get this on the flame.
Who's gonna do the other one?
Oh, by the way, this venison came all the way imported.
Venison.
Yes, our friend the McCubbins, Mr. McCubbins actually went
John,
hunting.
Wait.
Wait, John,
John.
keep it there. Wait.
Cut him into smaller pieces, John.
He went hunting on the first day of deer season and shot a deer with a musket.
With a musket, a real musket.
I cooked mushrooms. Look at how I cooked.
Good job.
Good job. Okay, now they did not eat just boring foods, guys. In Plymouth, they really did have some sweet things, some desserts. And so we're going to cook a dessert for our feast. You guys are going to make it. Does anybody know how cranberries grow? Have you ever seen a picture? Or do you know how cranberries grow?
Excuse me. I'm making like a cranberry corn roast.
I know that.
We're making, yeah. Do you know? But I was asking, how do they grow? You know?
No, but in the car I have seen a bag with cranberries. I think they grow in a bush.
What do you think? Okay, guys, listen up. Cranberries grow in a low, flat. Have you ever seen the marsh or a swamp where it's low and flat and there's lots of water? And they grow like on a vine. And the way that they grow, they love lots and lots of water. Now, in New England, there's a lot of beach area. And then when you get past the beach, it's low and flat. And then it fills up with water the way that Anna and I designed it. So these things grow like on a vine, but the way they pick them is when the land gets flooded, the cranberries float to the top. It's really smart. And then they just scoop the berries because they keep floating up on the top. They scoop up the berries. Now, the people in New England, remember how sick they got? Well, cranberries are really, really good for you. They have lots of vitamin C, and they have lots of other yummy things for your body. So when these people got sick, they found out if they ate the cranberries, they felt better. They were stronger. So we're going to cook something, and they also found ways to cook it that taste really yummy. So we're going to make a cranberry pie. So that's the next thing you guys are going to cook.
We're ready.
Sit down. Awesome.
We're going to just, wait, we're going to it shouldn't be needed. Is it red? No. Because this should be the crust that it has.
It was all.
Trays on. Okay, now, the way we're going to make this one is really, 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 really simple. You just keep repeating. You know what a pattern is? Layla, do you know what a pattern is? A pattern is when something repeats. So, if I have a pattern of red and blue and red and blue and red and blue, what comes next? Red and blue and red and blue. What comes after blue? Red. You can guess what's going to happen when there's a pattern. We're going to make a pattern in the pie. First we put the molasses, okay? Remember, you can make sugar from corn. Corn syrup is sweet, right? You can also get liquid sugar like this from where else? What other sugary thing looks like this?
What thing does it think of?
Syrup, yeah. What else looks like
Maple
this?
syrup?
Maple trees can give us syrup. How about honey? Honey is sticky and liquid like this too, right?
Yeah, but
So they had sweet things to eat in New England, just not the sugar that we have. You know, the white sugar in the powder? They didn't use that.
Wait, John.
Okay, so there's going to be a pattern here. First, watch this, guys. So we're going to take turns doing this. We have to put the sugar, and you're going to put the sugar all around the bottom, okay? And you guys are going to do the next layer, so watch me. We're going to put the sugar first.
This is cooking with Julia Child.
Yeah, really, this is cooking in Plymouth, okay? So first we're going to scribble on the bottom. I'm going to show it to you. We're going to scribble like that with the sugar. And then, a spoon. We're going to put some cranberries. Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Let's get a broom real quick.
I got to wash the berries. All right, we'll go do something else while I'm cleaning this up. I'm sorry.
Let's just get the broom.
Maybe.
I don't really want to use the broom.
Maybe.
Yeah, pick up the berries in front of you. Don't step
All the
on
kids,
them.
pick up the berries. Don't step
Sorry,
on them.
everybody.
Where's the bucket? Oh.
That's all right.
Because the broom has a lot of dirt on it. This I can wash off again.
I can't stop.
All right, we'll use these cranberries and we'll wash these. Okay, so we're going to put a little bit of berries.
Don't eat them. They're on the floor.
Wait.
Mom, there's a table.
Get more over the chair.
Someone write like this one.
Well, they're
Faust.
pretty red.
You're getting your pants all wet.
Very pretty, right?
I'm gonna get some paint.
They are kind of pretty, aren't they?
Yeah. They taste so good.
Sorry,
I got
everybody.
some cranberries.
Okay, so we're going to put in our berries after you guys pick those up. We have some extra berries.
Put them in. Put them in.
Someone.
We got to go wash those.
That's good.
Come
Come on, Mama.
Put them in. Paper towel?
Mm-hmm.
Your head has.
Yes, I know.
After we put the berries in, we're going to sprinkle. They had cinnamon sticks. Ours is ground up, all right? So we're just going to dust it like it's raining on top. Okay? Okay? And that's it. So we put, what goes on first, Alyssa? What goes in first? The sugar. What goes second?
The cinnamon.
No. The berries.
The berries.
Then the cinnamon, okay? So we're going to see if you can remember the pattern. So you guys are going to line up, and you have to remember, wait a minute, which one am I? Am I the cinnamon? Am I the berry layer, or am I the sugar? So you got to pay attention to what everybody's doing, guys. So we're going to line you up, and this is our last recipe. So we're going to have to cook all this stuff so that we can eat it, okay? So can you line them up? Everybody line up.
Everybody come on over here.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna be a berry layer.
I need another
You gotta pick
spoon.
the pattern then, Tom. Okay, sure. Watch your microphone, Brittany.
Just bring a
Drop
whole
it.
bunch of spoons up here.
Bring it over here. Take it off.
All right, wait.
Wait, does he end up? Can your mommy fix her bonnet?
Wait, you know what? I'm gonna have Alyssa go first. Hold on. Here. Stay here. And what I'm gonna do is stay back here with me, okay? Stay there. Go. Stay there behind me. Here.
Okay, now we have, I put sugar, berries, and cinnamon. So what goes next?
Sugar. Sugar.
You think she's right?
Yep.
Okay, so you're gonna scribble the sugar all over the berries. It's very thick and sticky, so take a lot. Take a lot. Big spoon.
Sugar,
And
berries, cinnamon.
Scribble it. No, you're gonna let it.
Sugar, berries, I like that too.
Scribble, scribble. And if you want a little more, if you like it sweet.
Berries, cinnamon.
Okay, a little more if you like it sweet. Okay.
Berries, cinnamon.
So now, if she's doing the sugar layer, okay, good. Now what does she do?
Berries.
Now you're on berries. You get to do berries.
I'm chocolate. That's not chocolate.
This is not chocolate, honey. This is sugar. You're gonna put berries. There's no chocolate here. No chocolate. Okay. Put some berries. Put them in the pie. Oh, mommy's gonna be so happy that you made a pie out of all her stuff. But we need more berries. Some more berries. More berries. More berries.
Yeah, one more, please.
Okay, now we got berries.
Okay,
What
Joey,
comes
go to the
after
back
berries?
of the line.
Okay,
Joey,
Joey,
back of the
yeah,
line.
give somebody else a turn now. Now it's Mia's turn.
Cinnamon.
Okay. They used to put cinnamon sticks. All right, you're gonna, like it's snowing. Sprinkle it all over. Sorry.
Wait. Whoa.
What's going on with it? What's going on with it?
Thank you, Mom.
Now go. I'm sorry. If you want to sprinkle it?
Yeah,
John, back up. Everybody back up. Go.
we got some good cooks here. Okay.
Then comes Juliana again.
Okay. John, you're doing the sugar. Okay. Scoop it up. Now got his hand. Now scribble all over. Don't go too fast though, because it comes off. Take another spoon when you're done with that.
Wait.
Get another one. You have to do it.
Easy.
Okay, so John is doing, Sasha, John is doing the sugar. So what comes next in our pattern? What comes after sugar?
Okay.
Berries.
Okay.
You think she's right?
Okay, go to the back of the line.
Is she right?
Sugar, berries.
What comes after sugar? Your turn,
Wait.
Sasha. Come on.
Yeah,
It's Sasha's
Joey, I'm going to
turn.
the back of the line. Back of the line, Joey.
Yeah, you gotta wait your turn. Come here, Sasha.
Stay in line.
Take some berries.
Put them all up. We gotta fill up this pie, so take a lot.
You can take a lot.
Make a
Have a
big
big hand. Big
Take a
hand.
load of berries and put them all over.
Make believe it's cookies.
Yeah, we gotta fill it up.
Or M&M's. Mini M&M's.
These are giant red M&Ms.
Medium Giant M&M's.
Okay, thank you, Sasha. Who's next? All right, what comes after berries?
Cinnamon.
Wow, you were quick. You're paying attention. Okay. Okay, sprinkle like it's snowing on top of it, okay? Pretend it's like snowing. Like, pretend it's the winter of 1620, snowing on the Pilgrims.
Here in Colorado right now, it's 6 feet of snow.
Very nice. I like his technique. He knows what he's doing. This kid.
Okay. Very good, Pastor.
Thank you. Okay, Layla.
Huh?
Ready, move to your right.
Ready.
Guys,
Blocks. Good door.
the way you put the spoon, it went into
Just explained me the joke yesterday. That's not nice.
No, it's not a joke. It's gonna be a good door. Not a window.
Brittany, can you get some wet paper towels?
Ready, Layla? Are you
Okay.
ready to take the spoon?
Put the sugar all over. Scribble, scribble. Take a
You do
lot.
another one?
Yeah, you need a lot.
Ready?
Wow.
What does the sugar taste like?
Sugar.
Well, it's like melted brown sugar.
Brown.
You know what brown sugar tastes like?
Okay.
No.
Okay.
It kind of tastes
Back
like
on line.
melted. Okay, what comes after sugar?
Berries.
Berries, yeah.
It's you two. Quiet.
Guys, everybody back
Yeah, we gotta
up.
fill this up so we'll all
Guys,
the way on the
everybody
outside too.
Everybody back up a little bit.
Don't push. Everybody's getting a chance.
Include this M&M.
Thank Okay, next. Come in.
Yeah.
What comes after berries?
Cinnamon. Cinnamon is hard to say. It's like raining cinnamon.
Yeah, make it snow cinnamon all over.
Would that be funny if it's?
It would be yummy and it would smell nice. It would smell really nice if it did.
There's none here.
Okay. Just tap it and clump up a little bit.
Hey, Johnny, your turn.
Okay, we're almost done. Wait.
What comes after cinnamon?
John, ready? Wait, let me get it. Wait.
What color was your spider sign, Alyssa?
Ready?
We're also by the
Very
color.
dark brown.
Okay, wait. We get another one. Wait.
Stand up, John.
Stand up and do it right.
You do it.
Oh, you mean like Daddy cooking
Like we
those
did. All the way
cupcakes on
around.
the
All
spot?
the way around.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Doggy
Very good.
cupcakes, yeah.
Very good, John. Very good.
Yes.
Come on, Sasha. Tiger. Berries. We need lots more berries to fill up this pie.
Oh, Sasha, it's like the mini M&Ms.
Now these are too big for you.
Peanut M&Ms.
Yeah, peanut M&Ms.
Best kind.
Peanut M&Ms are
The
really
best
big.
kind. Especially the blue ones. They taste different than the green ones.
Fausto, what comes after berries?
Cinnamon.
Why don't you get stuck with cinnamon again? There you go. Okay.
We're gonna cook another one in the end of.
See, when you teach kids at a young age, they have to be able to do it.
The next step. Yeah, one more big piece of berry. So do maybe one more layer. And
Supervised physical.
I'm not gonna be the sugar. I'm not gonna be the cinnamon for so long. I'm gonna be the berries now, right? I'm the berry. Lily is the berry.
If you want, you can do one more. You can do one more because those were small. You can do one more.
Lily's gonna be big. Nick, I'm gonna be berries. I never got to be the berries.
All right, Layla, berries. Don't worry about it, Mia. It just works in the cycles. Okay, you're gonna put the berries in. We need a lot of berries, okay? So put them in. Grab them.
Eat also. I never did the berries. Neither the sugar. John, I was not pushing it.
Nice.
That's
Okay, that's good. We just gotta put the cinnamon in. All right, Mia, you can do cinnamon.
I never got to do the berries.
All right, everybody else, go take your seats for a minute, okay?
Yeah, I'm stuck with cinnamon also. Yeah, I was stuck with cinnamon also. Yeah, we both were. I am cinnamon. No, I'm stuck with the cinnamon. I stuck in the Guys, take your seats. I got the cinnamon.
John, go sit. Yeah, this is mom's. All right, guys, everybody go sit. We're gonna wait until Miss Kelly comes back with the next step, okay?
Mommy's watching this and you're sitting next to Dad. She's watching this and You are a banana.
Now you are Rabbi.
Huh? Yeah, I have more oil from her. I'll come back and see what we're doing next. She said she needs to.
Rabbi, I'm not calling you broccoli, Rabbi. I'm calling
Se le está yendo la vida por la nariz.
you. You are
Can you help me with this?
Hoy tengo papel ahí, oh, que le está.
All right, guys. No, it's okay. It's okay. I turned it off. Okay. All right, guys. For those of you on the internet, Connor, please turn back on the camera if it will pop back on. Okay. All right, guys. Up next, we've got the activities that you see over there. So what we're going to do, as for those of you who are on the internet, we're going to have all the projects that you saw in the program. So however you guys set them up at home, the first one that we're going to be working on is a Thanksgiving meal. So those of you who are in the chairs here, I want you guys to get up. I want you to pick up your chairs. And we're going to move them. We're going to move them over here for now, okay? Without this thing feeding back on me. Huh? Without this microphone feeding back on me because I'm too close to the speakers.
No, not doing right.
Huh? What? I know. I'm not saying that. Saying that.
Those are all you saying to write with.
Huh?
Using the past when you're writing
Yes.
with. It's okay.
Okay, people, come.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not that it's too heavy. People got to put them the right way. This one, please. Yeah.
I got the last chair. Here you go.
Thank you.
Also get
Easy, somebody's on there.
Huh? Also a
Don't worry about the microphone. If you're anywhere in my vicinity, it'll pick you up.
Hey, sit back, we're gonna...
All right, everybody, back up. Back up. Back up. Back up.
Come on, Johnny.
Back up. Okay, guys.
Now look.
All right, guys. So this one here. Now what were we just doing? What were we just doing a minute ago? Okay. And what was this food supposed to be?
Kosher,
Well, yes.
but there's some unkosher things that they.
Wait. Don't look at the board. What were we just doing?
We were
Cooking what kind of food?
We're pancakes.
Food for what?
Pancakes. For Thanksgiving.
Right, the original Thanksgiving. We were cooking foods that they would eat back then.
Ow! My feet.
Jody, come over here.
And so
Stand here.
what we're going to do now is go over some of the other foods that they ate. Now, John,
John,
shush.
one's talking.
So what we have on this board here are all the foods that they would eat back then. All the different types of foods. And now, what we're going to do is we're going to see what type of foods they are, should they have been eating them according to the scriptures. Now up here, this one on the yellow one, are the rules for the kosher foods. And over here on the red one, we've got the foods for the unkosher. We've got the rules for the unkosher food.
Or none.
That works too. And so up here, we see that what makes a food kosher is that it has a separated hoof. If it's like a horse or a cow, it has to have a separated hoof that's completely separate, like your toes, separate, and that it chews the cud. It means it chews things again.
Like the cow.
Yes. Yes.
Like this.
Anything that lives in the water, like fish or sharks or whales.
No, fins and scales.
Right.
Sharks have fins, but they don't have scales.
Okay. And then anything like bugs, they have to have a leg like a grasshopper where it can jump across the ground.
Or locusts.
That too. And so what you see here is a picture of a locust, a picture of a cow, a picture of a cow's hoof. You see fish and their scales. You see another type of hoof. And then you see the jointed leg of the grasshopper. So now what we're going to do is go over the unkosher laws, the non-kosher laws, that if an animal does not have a separate hoof so that it's like this instead of like this, it makes it not kosher.
If it's like this instead of like
Yes.
this,
Yes.
like the horse, it has
Yes.
no separate hoof, like,
Right.
like the cow.
And so in that same rule, what else? They have to chew the cud. What if they don't chew it?
Then they're unkosher.
Right. And now, what about fish? What if they only have one? If they only have fins or scales?
If they only have the fins, that means they're not kosher, like sharks, dolphins.
Right. Very good.
Like,
Now we're going to talk about the birds.
like birds. Hooked beak.
Wait, hold on.
Like a
What's the difference between kosher birds and non-kosher birds? What's the difference? Do you know?
Non-koshers have a hooked beak, which means they eat dead things, and if it has a beak that's straight like this, then it's kosher.
It doesn't. Very good, Fausto. All right, now, Alyssa, what's the difference between the bugs that are kosher and the bugs that are non-kosher? Alyssa.
Pay attention.
What's the difference? What's the difference between this bug and this bug?
That one. Alyssa. Nope.
What's the difference about the legs?
Feet, red. They have red in the feet, and like a hard red.
What's the difference between what makes this bug unkosher and this bug kosher? Thank you. You see the legs here? See how it's like that? What's the difference here? Does that bug have that? So that's what makes it non-kosher. It doesn't have these legs. This one flies and walks around. This one has to jump. Okay? Now, how about this? Layla, what do bears have? What are their feet called? Do you know?
They're called little bell feet like cats.
No. What are they called?
They're called.
What do dogs have? Cats have? Bears have? What are they called? What are their feet called?
They're called.
Do you know what they're called?
They're called.
What are they called? Tell me. What are they called? It starts with a p sound.
Here.
What is it? Come on, you know this.
Put your shoes on.
Foot.
Well, that's one. What are they called? It's called a bear. What's it called? Do you know what they're called, Sasha? What a bear has as its foot, what it's called? Or a dog?
Like a dog, they have tail, beak, tail.
They have feet, but what kind of feet?
Tail, beak.
Right, they have hair on their feet. What are they called? It starts with a p sound.
White Pete.
No.
Me.
Okay, Mia?
Paws.
Very good. Anything that has paws, you cannot eat. Joviana, leave that alone. Leave it alone. Stop it now. Anything that has paws, you're not allowed to eat. So anything like a bear, or a dog, a cat, all these animals that have paws, a wolf, all these animals that have paws, you are not allowed to eat. So now, for those of you on the internet, what I want you to do is have your student take the pictures or that document that we sent you, the link, and sort out the pictures into the kosher and non-kosher sections. All right. Now, I'm going to go around. I'm going to... Huh?
Pick up the
Do you wanna go?
baby. I get that.
Yes.
Just a
Thank you.
Here.
All right, guys. We're going to go around.
Ready? I mean, come.
John, get a little
We'll go back and forth.
further.
Stand on that side. We'll go back and forth.
Come in the middle, guys, so you guys...
All right, guys. Everybody stand over
Your
here.
kids in the back, Fausto in the back.
Alyssa in the back.
Liliana in the front, John in the front.
What?
Over there.
John, come here.
Come, stand
Come
in front
here.
of Pasta.
Liliana, stand next to him, Sasha next to her. Joviana next to Sasha.
Brett,
No, Leilani, come over here.
stand here. Right here, in front of John.
Leilani.
Right there. We'll go back and forth. You ask a question, ask a question. All right, guys. We have this here. Who thinks, I want you to raise your hand. Who thinks this one is kosher?
There's a kosher. Is it that?
If you think it's kosher, raise your hand.
Is it that kosher?
Okay, we got 3 for kosher, 4 for kosher.
Kosher.
Sasha, what do you think? Is it kosher?
Is it not a kosher?
Do you think it's kosher?
Is
This
it
one right here.
not Yeah, it's a kid wearing.
Okay, no, okay. Put your hand up if you think it's kosher. Pasta. Put your hand up if you think it's kosher.
I think it's kosher, but I
Okay,
don't
so you
know
got
what
4
it
for
is.
kosher.
All right, we got 5. Layla, what do you think? Do you think it's kosher?
No, what's that? What's that?
It's an acorn.
He says
It's a plant.
It's kosher.
Right.
It's kosher.
All right, so we're going to take this one, guys, and we're going to put this one. Huh? They do it? They do it? All right. Faster, come here. If you think this one's kosher, we're going to put this on the kosher side. So I want you to take it off of there. Ready? Easy, though. We're going to put it on one of these. Okay? Okay. All right, guys, now we're going to go to the next one. All right, Faster, go back where you were.
In the back, so the little kids can sit.
All right, so when I call you, you're going to come up here, and then you're going to go back. All righty. How about we'll do it one each. All right, Alyssa, come here. Looking at this animal here and the rules that we gave you, do you think this one's kosher or non-kosher? Look at the rules. John, back up.
What's that?
Wait.
What's that?
Wait.
Kosher?
Well, what do you think?
Look at the rules. We have the rules up here. We have the rules for, this one's the non-kosher rules, this one's the kosher rules. Do you think this one's kosher or not?
What do you see? Does that fit? Do you see that as scales? So does that make it kosher? Okay. So I want you to take that one off, pull it up from the bottom. Alright, now I want you to put it over here. Here, wait, this one. Okay, Mia, your turn. Come here. Alright, Mia, bring it out with this one. Do you think these are kosher or non-kosher?
Kosher.
Okay, you think it's kosher? Sure?
Yep.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Because they're vegetables.
Okay. Alright, Mia, we're gonna put this one on.
Mr. Governor, can I answer?
Okay, Jesse.
Okay, sure. One sec, Jesse. Hold on one sec. It's just this one has to go up here, okay? What? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be better.
Okay, I'm gonna zoom into the turkey.
Which one?
The first one here. Talk to Jesse.
Alright, Jesse, you're next. This animal right here. This one right here. Do you think this one is kosher or non-kosher?
Is that a toast?
Do you know what animal that is?
Both of them. A turkey.
Okay, and is that one kosher or non-kosher?
They're both kosher.
Okay, so you want me to put that one on the kosher side?
Both of them on the kosher side.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. room.
It's my turn.
Wait.
1 second, John.
All right, Jeremiah and Kalila.
And John.
What about this one here?
There's a duck.
This animal right here.
There's a duck. A duck.
Shh. Are you gonna say that one? Go ahead.
You can't really see that picture online. Could you tell us where it is on the slide that you sent us? Because I have that up.
It's not going to be in the same order. I'm sorry, guys. I couldn't tell you where it is.
All right, that's fine. Well, we can't really see the picture.
It is a duck. It is a duck.
So it is a duck, Tristan?
It's a duck, Tristan.
Go ahead. Huh?
Yes. She asked if it's a duck.
Yes, it is a duck.
Okay, so guys, is it kosher or not kosher?
Kosher.
You're saying no, it's not kosher. Okay, Jeremiah says no, it's not kosher.
It's not kosher. Okay. So we're going to try and put that one over there. Okay.
It's kosher.
Hold on me, okay? All right, John, come here. All right, we're going to go with this one. Do you think this one is kosher or not kosher? What do you think? It's kosher?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to take this one. Hold on, let me get it up. I'm going to take this one. Right, let me see it. All right, I want you to take this one like this. We're going to put it right here. Ready? Okay, thank you, John. Okay, let's see. Layla, come here. We're going to go with this one. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
What is it?
A snake. A snake.
Almost. It's called an eel. So, do you think this one's kosher or not kosher?
It's kosher. It's a snake.
Are you thinking it's kosher?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
It is kosher. Is it?
Does it have fins? Does it have these?
No.
Well, then does that make it kosher?
No.
Right. So this one is going to go over on the not kosher side.
Am I going after Layla or Sasha?
Sasha's next. Okay, back up. Layla. Sorry, Sasha. Sasha, we're going to do this one. You think this is kosher?
No.
Why not?
It is kosher. No, it's not.
No, Sasha got it right. It's not. This one only has fins. It doesn't have scales. So very good, Sasha. Very good. All right, Faustus not here, so Mia, you're next.
Fausto is here.
All right, Mia. How about this one? It's okay, Mia. You can leave it. What about that
It's kosher.
one? Right, why?
Have Daddy take you.
Because it has a separate hoof and you choose the cut.
Very good.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Come back. You know?
Wait, let me see it for 1 second.
Last. Better not.
It's amazing how you find the one that it won't stick on. Mia, put it here. Put it here.
You gotta go. Go
On the one under the berries.
You have to go? Okay.
Okay. Alrighty, let's see. Alyssa, you want to do a cup?
Hey, Alyssa, what do you think? What about that one with the claws?
This one?
What about this one?
Tastes good, doesn't it, in butter?
No.
You think it's kosher or non kosher?
Is it kosher or not kosher?
Lobster.
Okay, Jesse. This one.
Let Rabbi.
Back up, guys.
Everybody back up.
Jesse.
Put this one up here. Oh,
Remember, you need a microphone for it.
I know.
Here you go.
Okay.
Jesse.
Okay, Jesse.
You got another board, I can't see it.
Just got through.
Okay. Jesse. This picture right here, I don't know if you can see it, but this picture right here, do you think that one's kosher or non-kosher?
Kosher. It is kosher. No,
Sasha, back up. Everybody back up.
Jesse.
Give me 10 seconds.
Okay. Well.
I can't see the picture. The video's loading.
Give me a second, it's loading. Quiet!
What is it, please?
Tell them it's
This one, it's an eagle.
It's not legal. It isn't kosher.
Okay, it's not kosher?
Yes.
Or it is? I didn't hear you, sorry.
No. No.
No.
What's next? Okay, Jeremiah and Kalila, and I think your cousins are there too, so. This one is a quail, I believe, right? Yeah. Okay, do you think, I don't know if you can see it, but I think this one's a quail. Do you think it's kosher or non-kosher?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's
not
It's kosher.
It is not kosher.
Say, I don't know. What was the answer?
Okay, so what's the answer? Yes or no? Is it kosher or non-kosher?
Is it kosher or not kosher?
Not kosher.
Not kosher. Yes, we got a unanimous vote.
And the unanimous vote was?
For non-kosher.
Okay.
Non-kosher.
Non-kosher.
I'll fix that.
No, do it fast.
Hey, Fausto, you do
Fausto,
it.
back up. Okay.
Go ahead, Fausto.
No, fast. It doesn't go on here. It goes down here. Fausto.
Oh, it doesn't stick.
No.
Alright.
Go back.
Alright,
Go
we're
back.
just gonna
Thank
put it on
you.
the box.
Okay, who's next? Fausto. Okay, Fausto. Is this one kosher or non-kosher? Don't take it out. Just tell me the answer.
Kosher.
All right. Okay, put it on.
John.
Fausto, put it on.
Fausto, you can put it on.
Okay, who's next?
Alyssa.
Alyssa.
And then Mia. Oh, no, wait.
What?
Sasha.
Sasha, come here. Do you think this is kosher or non-kosher?
Guys, whoa.
Sorry about that.
Your mom sit on the floor.
Yeah, you know, everyone sit down.
Wait, sit down.
Sit down.
Sit down on the floor.
Sasha, is this kosher or non-kosher? Can you eat this or you can't you?
Did we say any rules about plants?
It's cold. The flower is cold. No, it's
It's
not.
not cold. It's simply
So can you eat it? Okay, thank you.
So look, if this one's kosher, that plant is kosher, that plant is kosher, probably that one is too, right? Okay, go sit down. Alrighty, Joviana.
Joviana, come here. Okay, Joviana, do you think this is kosher? Can you
It's
eat
a
it?
walnut.
Kosher.
Okay, it's kosher.
Very good, Joviana.
Joviana.
Very good. It goes over here.
Here, over here, right here.
Yeah, right there.
Kind of messed it up. It should have been the other way, but. Okay.
Alrighty,
Who's next? Alyssa. Yeah, look hard again. Alyssa, do you think this is kosher?
Which one? This one?
This one, either one.
Yes.
Okay. Who's next?
Mia, then John.
Mia, come here. Yeah. Okay, so Mia, do you think this one's kosher or not kosher? Here you go. Put it up here. Okay, alright. Okay, who's next? John, come here. Okay, John, do you think this one's kosher or non-kosher?
Why not? Very good, John. Very good. Now, wait. Before we take this one. All right, wait, John. All right. Now, everyone, John is looking at the one with the crane. He actually got this one right. the crane is actually non-kosher. It says in Scripture, in Leviticus, that it's non-kosher. But it doesn't tell us why. It just tells us it's not. So actually, John got this one right without the rules. So John did very well on this one. You want to put it on, John? Stick it there. Stick it on. There you go. Very good. Okay, go sit down.
Leilani. Okay. Leilani, do you think this is kosher? It's a pumpkin. Yes. Okay, so the kosher pumpkin is kosher. Here, bring it up here. Put it up right here. Okay. Jesse, do you think this carrot's kosher? Okay. Jesse, do you think the carrot's kosher?
What is it? I can't really see it.
It's a carrot. It's a carrot. It's a carrot.
It's kosher.
It's kosher. Okay. So, okay. Jeremiah and Kalila, do you think that this lettuce is kosher? Lettuce. It's lettuce.
Of course! Of course! Duh! Yeah!
Okay, guys.
Okay. Sorry. It's coming off. Here, put it on for me. Oh, that's cheese. Oh, okay, we missed. Who's next? Fausto. Okay, Joviana, hold on. Joviana, do you think this is kosher?
Yes, it is.
Are you sure? Look, dude, look. It's a clam. It's a clam. It's not a vegetable. It's a clam.
Wait,
Joviana, is this? Can you eat it? Are you sure? Look. These are all the kosher things. Guys, shush.
Guys.
Does this have fins and scales?
Joviana, pay attention. Give me that. Pay attention.
Joviana, does this have fins and scales?
No.
So is it kosher or not kosher?
Not kosher.
Good job.
Very good.
Okay. So, who's next? John. Oh. Some more. No. That's what, but we'll say that. Okay, Johnny, do you think this is kosher? Okay, Johnny, do you think this is kosher? Okay, good. So put it up here. There you go. It's right back.
Alright, guys. We went through all these. You got most of them correct. But I want you to notice, over here on this side, there's 2 open spaces. And there are 2 of these that wouldn't stick. And I want to ask you guys why. Alright, this one's going to go, I'm going to throw this one back to Jeremiah Files. Is a duck kosher?
Yes!
Ah. Well, before you answered the duck was unkosher. So you want to change your answer?
The duck is kosher. I said the wrong thing.
There we go. Alright, who did the quail? Who did the quail? Oh. Alright, Jesse. I'm going to throw this one back to you. We have a picture of a quail. Do you think a quail is kosher or non-kosher?
Kosher.
Right, and where do we see quail? Do we know where we see quail in Scripture? Do you remember?
The ocean.
Yeah, very good, Jesse. Very good.
So in the oceans.
Right, very good. All right, guys, that's very good. We've gone through our first station, so very good, guys. We went through all of the kosher and non-kosher foods that they would have eaten on the first Thanksgiving, so very good, guys. All right, guys, now we're all going to slide on over a little bit so everyone can see. Slide on your tuchus. And move that way. Mia, Sasha, back. You know what? Mia, Sasha, John, come around this side. Guys, go around.
Stand up for a second.
No, not everyone. Just the people I called their names. Mia and Sasha and John.
Come over here. Sit on this side. Now sit. Sit. Thank you.
All right, guys. For those of you on the internet, we're going on to the next section. The Thanksgiving in pictures. It's going to be a picture of the timeline and all that stuff with the descriptions of the picture. All right. Now, I'm going to ask this question to Fausto. I want you to stand up. Now, we've got a bunch of pictures here. Now, we're going to need to put these in order. Now, I'm going to ask you, do we want to do this by looking at the pictures, or do we want to look at the words? We can do it one way, or we can do it the other way. What do you think, Fausto? I'll let you ask everyone else what they want to do, but you have to give me the final answer, okay? I want you to ask everyone else, what do they think? All right, Fausto says by pictures. Does everyone want to do it by pictures? All right, we're going to do this by pictures. Now, who remembers what was the first thing we started talking about in the Thanksgiving presentation on the screen over there? Right. We were talking about Plymouth, England. And what were they doing? What were they doing at Plymouth, England? Why were they there? Why were they there? What were they doing?
Why were they in England?
Well, it starts with an S, but they were looking to do what? What were they looking to do? Look at the pictures. No, hold on, wait. I'll let Fausto answer this one. Fausto, if they were in England, what were they doing? What was the first thing that came onto the screen? What was it a picture of? Do you remember? What were they doing over here? What were they doing? They had to get from here to there. How are they going to do that?
You should be able to hear it.
Okay, that one's not the right one. Let's look at the descriptions now of all the ones with the ships. What comes first, September or November? What comes first?
September.
Right. So do you think this one came first?
Yes.
Let's read it. The Mayflower leaves Plymouth, England for America. Shipmaster Christopher Jones is an experienced sailor, yet he is unaware of the hard journey ahead. So what came first? They left England or landed at Cape Cod? Right. It's this one. This one is, everyone, I want you to look at the picture. This is a picture of Plymouth, England at the port, all the way back in the 17th century. This is a drawing. Okay? I'll bring it over to the camera so everyone else on the internet can see in a moment. Okay? How close do we have to be for this one? All right, everyone, on the internet, that's a picture of Plymouth, England. This one's going to go on to our map as the first one.
He's looking for a space.
All right, can everyone see that? Up here is where Plymouth, England was. Jovi, you have to look. All right, everyone, can everyone see that? On the board, that's where Plymouth, England is. Okay? All right, guys. Now, how about this? Let me ask this to Jesse. Jesse, what happened on their voyage? What happened in the middle of their journey when they were trying to get over here? Do you know?
A big storm.
Right. So we have a picture here of a ship out at sea. Do you think this is going to be the picture that goes in the middle that happens second?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Very good. That is the correct answer to the one that goes in the middle. So that's very good, Jesse. All right, can everyone see that? Right in the middle? They hit the storm in the middle. Okay, guys. How about this? I'm going to ask Alyssa this next one. Come here, Alyssa. All right, now, what did we go to next? What did we think about next? What was the next thing they did? If you're looking at all these pictures, if I've got a picture of a ship, Plymouth, the feast, meeting with the Indians, what do you think came next? If you want, you can turn it over and look at the description. So if we had, they were at Plymouth, they went to the ocean, they got through the storm, what comes next? Before you go anywhere on land, what do you have to do? Don't you have to land? Come to land first before you go anywhere? So, which one do you think it is? What happens if you read this one aloud.
Land at Cape Cod, Massachusetts. They finally get off the boat after 65 days at sea.
Right. So do you think that one came next? They first have to come to land? Okay, so you think this one comes next? You want to put it on the board? All right, this one goes there. Right there. So now we've got, they left Plymouth, England, they came to the storm in the middle, and then now they land at Cape Cod, Massachusetts, which is now in America, which is a very long journey. All right, how about this? Let me see. All right, Mia. I have to call on Mia. All right, Mia. They landed at Cape Cod, Massachusetts, but then where did they go after that? Where did they stay? Do you know?
Hotel 6, leave the light on.
Do you know where they went? Where did they stay? If they left, what did I tell you earlier? They made a new place here in America. If they left Plymouth, England, where did they go to America? What came first? Did they meet up with the Indians and have the feast, or did they go and make their houses first?
What was where they were called?
Plymouth Rock.
Okay. What did they do when they came here to the Newfoundland to make it feel like home, other than building houses?
What was it called?
Plymouth Rock.
Right. So which one here is a picture of Plymouth Rock? Okay, very good. All right. If you want, how about this? Read this one, read the date, and then read the words, okay?
Okay. December 1620. They make their way to Plymouth, Massachusetts, where they choose to settle.
Very good. So now, this one I have on here so everyone can look. This is a picture of a sign that they have at Plymouth Rock where they landed and stayed. Okay? This is a picture of the sign. Okay? For those of you who don't know, that is a sign of Plymouth, the place where the Pilgrims landed in 1620 at Plymouth Rock. So that one's going to go here on the board, just underneath the one in Massachusetts. All right. I'm going to throw this one out to Jeremiah and Kalila and also your cousins. We talked about them going from Plymouth. They were at sea. Now they landed. They went to Plymouth Rock. What happened next? Do you guys know? Who did they meet up with?
The Pilgrims meet the Indians and Squanto.
Very good. So, I don't know if you have it open, but I'm going to show you guys the picture over the camera, okay? I'm going to ask you guys, which one do you think it is? Do you think it is this picture that comes up next, that they meet up with Squanto, that they meet up with him? Or I'm going to show you another picture. Do you think it's this one?
We can't see the picture. It's it looks like it's downloaded still.
Oh, okay. Do you have the document that I sent you guys?
Yes.
On that document, did you go and download the links that I sent in the document?
Yes, we did.
Okay,
So
you're going to see two pictures. Okay. Do you think it's the one of the singular Indian, or do you think it's the group with the pilgrims? Which one do you think it is, based upon the description next to it? I'll read you the description. It says, March 16, 1621, pilgrims meet up with Squanto and Samoset as Squanto looks to return to his homeland. And then the other one says, April 1621, pilgrims are brought Massasoit Indian leader to sign a peace treaty. They are taught planting, fishing, hunting, and survival. So which one do you think came first?
March 16.
Very good. Very good. So we're going to put that one on the board. Alrighty. Let me see. Let's do Layla. Come here. Alrighty. Now, you remember what happened? Do you remember? Did they go and have the feast, or did they meet with some other people first? Did they? What happened? They met up with these people. They met up with the Indians, and then what? Did they meet with more Indians, or did they go and have a dinner? Are you sure? I'm pretty sure they met with somebody else. Do you know who they met with first, before they had the dinner? Who did they meet up with? They met up with their leader. They met up with Massasoit, right? Okay. So in April 1621, pilgrims are brought Massasoit Indian leader to sign a peace treaty. They are taught planting, fishing, hunting, and survival. So that one comes next, and we're going to put that one on our board. Thank you, Layla. Thank you, Layla. So go sit down. All right. All right, John, come here. Come here. All right. Now, what was the last thing they did on their journey? Right, very good. They had a big feast, right? Right? Right, very good. So now what we're going to do is, John, here, help me put this one on the board. Grab the other side, grab that side. I'm going to put it on right up here, okay? Okay. Now we've officially put all of the pictures on the timeline. John, go sit down. We put all the pictures on our timeline, spanning everything from when they left Plymouth, England, all the way down to when they had the feast. So now you can see kind of where everything happened, okay? And this one I will give credit to Esther for helping us make this board as well. I would like to give Esther big props for this one. Alrighty, guys. Now we're going to be starting, we're going to actually hand this part of the presentation over to Michaela, because up next we got 17th century handicraft coming up. So literally we're going to hand this off to the other coast. We're going to hand this over to Michaela, who is in Washington. Yeah, Washington State. So Connor, if you'll turn off our, well, I don't know. Yeah, turn off ours so that Michaela can turn on theirs. All right, guys, we see you, but we cannot hear you. And not heard. Can you guys hear me? They can't?
Okay, how about now?
Okay, we hear you now.
Okay, just mute on your end, please. Okay, we're loading up our video here. Alright. You can pull up the first slide on your end. And let me know if you can see or not here. Okay. Start off with what we're going to be learning today is how to make your own clothing, how to make your own fabric as it is. Because the Pilgrims, when they moved to Plymouth, America, they couldn't go to the store and buy fabric to make their own clothes, so they had to make their own. Now, before we begin here, if you go on to slide 2, at the end of this presentation, there's going to be a quiz for all you kids there, so you better pay attention. Going on to slide 3, when we think of Thanksgiving, we normally think of food, a big dinner, or if we're thankful for it, and what we are thankful for. But there's a whole lot more to Thanksgiving than just this. How they lived, how they ate, how they were dressed, and all of that. Going on to slide 4, you see this picture of the 2 pilgrims holding a turkey. Now, what do you think about this picture? Foster, how about you? What do you think about this picture? What's different about it?
Go ahead, Fausto, what do you think? What do you think about that picture, Fausto?
I think it's a nice picture.
You think it's a nice picture?
Me.
Why is it a nice picture?
Because the pilgrims.
Because of the pilgrims?
Me.
Is
I have an answer.
Okay, Mia, how about you? What's different about this picture than any other pilgrim picture that you've probably seen?
they're thanking for the turkey?
They're thanking for the turkey.
Okay. How about you there, John? What's different about this picture?
They're thanking for the turkey.
Alright. Let's go on to slide 5. What about their clothing? Isn't it a lot different than what we wear today? And it's different because they made their own clothes.
Oh.
So when you make your own clothes, you can make them how you want them to look, and even different styles, different colors, and all that. So that's what we're going to do. I'm Priscilla Muller, going on to next slide. I'm Priscilla Mullins, and I came here on the Mayflower, along with 101 other people, to start a new life here in Massachusetts Colony. So let's get started, going on to slide number 7. The first thing to do is to get some wool. And yes, that's what I said. wool. Now, all the kids there start thinking. I'm going to go to you one by one. Where do we get wool? Let's start with Alyssa. Where do you think we get wool from?
Store.
No.
What do you think, Alyssa?
Where does it come from?
Right.
Walmart.
In the store. I know where it comes from. It came from in the grass. The grass.
What do you think?
What do you think?
Well, that is not correct. It's not Walmart. There were no Walmarts back in 1621. Foster, what do you think? Where do you get wool from?
Go ahead, Foster.
The sheep have fur and the fur is wool.
Wow. Are you sure you didn't look at it on the slides or something? Let's go into slide 8. And you're right, Foster. We get wool from sheep. So let's bring in our little sheep on slide 9. So to be able to get the wool, the hair off the sheep, we have to do something called shearing. Now what you do is you take special sheep shears, or kind of like wool scissors, and you cut off their coat. But you have to be very careful when you do that, because if you cut too close, then you'll cut the skin, and then there'll be blood all over the place, and then you will have red yarn and red wool instead of white wool. But since there's no sheep here in Plymouth, we aren't going to show any shearing today. So we're going to slide the next one, and here we show a picture of a weaver. That's what you call a person that does weaving for a living, a weaver. And we can use the same process, except during a little bit different here. Hang on just one second here. Alright, so now what we're doing now, we're going to take the wool and spin it into yarn, and then after that we'll take the yarn and weave it into our clothes. But there's one problem. Most of the time, we weave our clothes on a big loom instead of a small one like you have there to make larger pieces of cloth. But the big loom that we brought over is in use, so I'm going to show you how to do it on a small loom like you have there. So go on to the next slide with the wool there. So when we start, we have the wool from the sheep, and you have to spin it. It's called spinning when you make it into yarn. And the way you do that is with a spindle, and you can see one here in the picture with the wool. However, the wool doesn't travel well, and especially with the problems that the Mayflower had, leaking, and since it was not very travel-wise, so we spun wool before we left England. So now that we have our yarn, we're going to go ahead and dye it. Now I have here some white yarn that I'm going to show you here in a minute. And it's a plain white yarn that's been spun already. This pot right here, it's got dye in it. Charcoal black dye. And what we're going to do, this is very hot, so be careful if you're going to do this, and make sure you have grown-ups with you. We're going to carefully lower our yarn into the boiling water here, or our charcoal mix here. And taking it, depending on how dark you want it, you have to, let me put it in some more strands here. It takes a bit for it to completely dye, and depending on how dark you want it, you have to let it sit longer. So we'll let that sit for a few minutes. And anyway, we can't even use the dyed yarn that we have today because dyed yarn needs to sit for a few days and cure, so the dye will stay in the yarn, and so when you wash it, it won't come out. So for our purposes today, we're going to use already dyed yarn to begin weaving. This is what is called a work basket. I keep all my weaving things in here. There's a few key things that we're going to talk about today. One, we have our yarn that's already been pre-dyed, and we already wound it into a ball. We have our comb that will assist us in keeping our lines straight when we're weaving, and so it doesn't appear all lumpy. We have our shuttle that will be wove with the loom, which is right here. And what I'm going to show you here is how to what's called stringing. And we have to have string on the loom to make the cloth entirely. Before we do that, let's get out our setting yarn. Let me take this. Just 1 second here. It's very hot, so you have to be quick and careful. At the same time. So I'm not sure.
Is it possible to produce
It's a kind of gray color.
Is it possible
I have this particular strand.
Is it possible
Sorry. Sorry, it says that it's on.
Unmute me?
It's loading it, reloading again.
Yeah, it's just something you're just going to have to keep doing.
How about now?
Loading.
Alright, how about now? Okay?
Loading. Just keep presenting, and we'll just keep up with you, and hopefully the camera will work.
Okay? So what I've got here, that hopefully you'll soon be able to see, is some black yarn that's already been dyed, and it needs to dye for longer, that way I get a darker color. So I'm going to leave it for now and begin in the actual process of actual weaving. If you will go on to slide number 15. Now I want you to look carefully at what the weaver has in her hand, there, and what she has in her hand is called a shuttle. It's in her left hand. It looks like a stick of wood almost with some purple yarn in it, in that particular photo. So a shuttle is what we weave our yarn onto, just like I already showed you before. Now before we begin actual weaving, we have to string our loom. This is the loom that I'll be using right here. It's basically just a square with grooves in it, but it's extremely important on how you string it because that will affect your yarn. So first you're going to take your strand and start at one end of your loom and tie a simple knot, double knot, so it'll hold. And then carefully, not pulling too tight, yet tight enough to make it taut, you go in and out of each groove of your loom. You have to keep a good tension on it, that way it won't break, yet it still needs to be tight because we don't want sloppy fabric. Because we have sloppy fabric, that'll make for sloppy clothing.
Are these usable?
Rabbi, the cake is dry.
Alright, now that I have my loom strung,
Alright, quiet
I'm going to take out my scissors here.
What we're doing is we're going in.
Cut about a 2-inch width after you off the ball, after you've strung it. You can make sure you can pull it tight, as well as wrap it around the last notch once or twice,
And then it
and then tie that in a firm knot as well.
That's what
That way it won't come undone.
goes in and out. In, down, up, down, up,
You can hit,
down.
if you want, you can go ahead and turn off the slideshow. The camera is more able to see if it's going. So what you do next, you take your shuttle and take the strand of yarn that's off of it, and you go to the bottom of your loom,
Here.
and you tie it there.
Wait. We will.
That way it'll hold and not come undone. Because if you let it loose, then it'll simply come undone and you won't have done anything. So here's what it's going to look like.
Okay. It makes.
You can't have too much out at one time, otherwise it'll get tangled.
Okay.
So here's what it's going here. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your first strand right here and leave it as it is. Skip to the second strand right here
Second one.
and put the shell underneath it. Skipping the third one, going on to the fourth,
Okay.
and going forward, skipping every other strand.
Just like that. Up and down. And it makes like a piece of clothing.
It takes some time, so be patient and don't pull too hard, otherwise you will
We're all
break
gonna try it in a little bit. We're all gonna do it. We got a couple.
your threads.
Okay.
Let's see
Up.
here.
Everybody see? Up. Down.
What does it
Up.
say?
Down. Up. And it makes this pattern. It makes like our clothing that we have here. Okay? All your clothing is done by a machine now, but they used to have to do it by hand. Imagine if all your clothes had to be made by hand. How many sets of clothes would you have?
I'm afraid I don't understand what you're saying. I have to keep up with what?
Connor, unmute it, please.
You have to keep up with, as in trying to turn your camera on, checking if it's on, and things like that. We haven't seen anything thus far, and for the little kids, they have to at least be able to see it. So you need to try and keep after that if you can.
Okay, try dropping the call and then calling us back, because it says that the camera is unable to function and it won't let me click on it. Alright, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, we're trying the camera now.
Alright, it's trying to come up. The camera is loading. Turn ours, make sure our camera's off. There we go. We see you now. Woo!
It's loading. Alright. So, this is the loom already strung, as I've already showed. Tried to, at least. So when going back, you just go the opposite way. You go over the last strand that you went under. You go over it, and then going on the other side, you pull it back through slowly so it doesn't break. The type of yarn I'm using is thin. Yours might be thicker, but you still need to be careful because yarn is still breakable. And carefully going in and out through each strand, doing the opposite of what you did the first time. And it takes patience, and it takes time. But once you finish, you'll be able to have a real piece of cloth like the Pilgrims would have made. This is the same way they would have done theirs, except on a bigger scale. Depending on what size you want, it can take, if you're doing it steadily, it could take anywhere from an hour to 2 or 3, depending on how big you want your piece of cloth to be and how big your loom is. Because the smaller the loom, the faster it'll go. Mine is roughly about 1 foot by 1 foot square, and I have I'm not exact, I would probably say about 100 feet of yarn on the shuttle that I have right now. So with what I have on my shuttle right now, more than likely, it will probably fill this loom halfway. So, but I have more, so I can always refill the shuttle and continue on. You want to leave roughly about 1/2 inch to 1 inch gap at the top. That way you can tie it off. So, going back again, now that the camera appears to be working, skipping every other strand, and going up and over, through each one, and if you skip, then you'll have holes. Using the comb, you can pull it down to where you're going. Not pulling too tight, and going back and forth. And for you guys, if you're able to do this with the loom that you have there, it will be easier to have it straight out in front of you, like this. But so you can see, I'm holding it straight up and down.
And then you're going to get...
We're showing it on our end.
He's not back there.
Please drop again and call back. The video went off again and is not allowing.
All right, we're showing the children here what you were describing, so just give us a minute.
Alright guys, okay. So you can...
I'm not exactly sure how much you guys have there, but it does take time. To make a simple bookmark alone could take about half of your shuttle's worth of yarn in probably about half an hour to 15 minutes depending on how fast you are. Speed comes with practice, so normally I could probably have this half of shuttle done and half of my loom filled probably within about half an hour. But it comes with practice. So, as you're doing yours, I'm doing mine. And we're going to keep trying to get this camera fixed. So hopefully you can see what I'm trying to show you here.
Thank you. Yeah, we're going over with the kids. What you're describing right now is we're showing them this step by step because the camera has not been working, but we've had some aid here. So we're doing this step by step process that you have been narrating. We're showing the 7 children here right now.
All right. JB and Kalila, follow the slides as best you can, and then hopefully I'll take some pictures later to illustrate more of what I'm talking about, since you don't have a loom there, and the camera isn't working. So I'll do my best to send pictures over there, hopefully sometime today or tomorrow. That way you can see more actually of what I'm talking about.
Thank you. We're actually following along as well, so they're doing pretty good over here too.
Alright. Alright. Now I have some done on mine. And that's okay if you don't on yours. That's just fine. Now I'm going to go over how to tie off your cloth that you have. Going up near the top of your loom and starting on the left-hand side, carefully cut the strands of yarn that you have, the first 2, and then simply tie it in your normal shoelace knot. Double knot it carefully and not too tight because it'll bunch the yarn. Once you've done that, you cut the next 2 and do the same thing over. And keep going on and on until you reach the end of your strands. And then don't cut anything else yet because you have to go back and double knot it. Again, using different strands. So once you've cut all your strands and knotted them, go back to the left-hand side where you first started, take the second strand and the first strand of your second knot and tie them together. So basically, you would, of your strands, you would take the first 3, skip number 1, set it aside, take number 2 and 3, and tie them together. Only do this after you have already previously knotted, going by 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way across. You do this to ensure that it will stay together and that it will not bunch up or come undone. Afterwards, you carefully take off your strands on the bottom. Take off only 1 or 2 at a time, snip them, and there's not much on the bottom, so be careful not to have it come undone, and then tie those going 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way across. If you have enough length left, then go back, just as you did on the top, and go 2, 3, 2, 3, all the way across. Only do this if you have it the exact length that you want it and the exact amount of yarn that you're able to use. And it takes patience and time, and the more experience you have, the faster it will go. All right. So while you continue working there, I'm going to ask you some questions. It's quiz time. If you can go back to the slides over there. All right. So I'm going to ask each of you what you think on each of these things. And the boys over there, you better pay attention too. It's not just for girls. Alright, so going to the first question here, I'm going to give this one to Mia. Mia, what kind of hair do we use for spinning? A, goat hair, B, sheep hair, or C, camel hair?
The letter, okay? Go over there and answer the letter.
Correct.
Say it again.
Say it again.
B. Alright, very good.
I'll mute over here. Don't worry about it.
Fausto,
Fausto.
what object do we weave on? A, loom, B, chair, or C, vending machine?
What do we loom on? Come close to the mic.
Wait, what's A
Come
again?
down there in the mic.
What's A again?
Look on the screen.
Loom.
Look.
You might not see it with his glasses.
Loom, a chair, or a vending machine?
Loom, chair, or vending machine?
A, B, or C?
Come by the mic and give me your answer. That's a loom.
This is a loom. This is a loom. Yes, that's what it's
No,
called.
the thing right there in front of you.
This.
This is a harder.
Go ahead. Tell the answer.
Alright, that's good.
Wait, listen now. John.
JB, what do we weave with? A, string, B, yarn, C, fishing line.
Fishing line.
Yarn.
Alright, very good. Alright, the last one. Let's see here. Alyssa, what do we wire yarn onto before we weave? A, stick, B, shuttle, C, dinner plate.
B.
Wow, you guys really paid attention there. Alright, you guys all did really good, and hopefully the governor and the Indian over there can take some pictures and we can see what you guys have been doing more. And if you'll go to the very last slide, thank you guys for participating. I know it was kind of hard with the camera, but we did the best that we were able to do, and I'm glad that you were able to do this with me and learn about different things that our ancestors did, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Alrighty, thank you, Michaela, for doing the presentation on the 17th century handicraft. And I sound like I'm at summer camp. But anyways, alrighty, so now we've gone through. Alright, everybody, turn around. Everybody, turn around. Alrighty, so what we got here is we went through the Thanksgiving foods. We went through all the events that went on at Thanksgiving, and now we've gone through even some of the things that they had to do in their daily lives at Thanksgiving. Joviana, over here. Look. It's okay. Sit down. Just stay here, but sit down. So what we're going to do is now we've gone over things like the loom, the spinning loom, and down here, if everyone wants to look, right here is a picture of 17th century embroidery. If everyone wants to come up one at a time, I'm going to call Mia and then go this way. Mia, come here. Just Mia. What you see here is the embroidery spool or embroidery ring, and it has a piece of cloth in it that's tied to it. And then over here, you see an incomplete one, and then you see a complete one. Do you see that? this is what they did. They would use sewing, and then also they would make this piece of cloth with the weaving. Okay, so go sit down. John, come here. Can you see that? The difference between this one, this is where you start, and this one where you finish. Okay? Yes, and that's what they used to color it. Very good. Okay, now go sit down. That one, those are blackberries. Or actually blueberries. All right, Fausto, come here. Okay, can you see that, Fausto? Where you have the embroidery ring and then the finished one? Do you remember? I don't know if my mom's made that with you guys in the class, the timbrettes. Okay. Well, these are what they look like. This is what they would do. They would first make this piece of cloth with the loom, and then they would take the thread, the same thread, and then make pictures. Okay? Okay, go sit down. All right, Alyssa, your turn. Can you see that? You see that? This is what they do. They make the thread out with that loop, and then they would take the thread, more thread, and make pictures of it, just as you see on your normal shirts and the patterns like your mom's wearing and that stuff. Okay, Layla. Mom's scarf. Different colored threads. See that? See the difference here? See? This is the started one, and this one's the finished one. They'd make this cloth with these. Okay? They make the cloth with these, and then they would make more thread and make little pictures. Okay? Go sit down. Joviana, come here. Alright, so you can see this one, Joviana? See this one? This one started. And then here's the finished one. See? They would make the piece of cloth that they would do this in with each one of these little looms. Yeah. Alrighty. Alright, guys. Now we're going to be going on to our last station for the day. The last one here is going to be the 17th century in writing. And I'm going to be handing this one over to Cassandra, who's going to go over each one of these pieces with you. And also, guys, there on the West Coast, if you need to have something playing on our end, please let me know.
Yes, you need to have the Elizabeth Taylor's Diary Part 1 and 2 playing.
Could you run that by again, please?
Can you please repeat that again?
Can you please repeat what you said, what you need played, or anything done? Could you please repeat that? Thank you.
I need to have you play Elizabeth Tilley's Diary, the recording, Part 1 and 2.
Guys, let me take a look, okay? Hold on one sec.
Alright, and I need to have your video off if that's okay, just while I present so I can have mine on, if that's doable.
Alright, guys, I'm really sorry. I only have part 1. I do not have part 2. So, I don't know how you want to work this. Do you want to just read it yourself type of thing, or how do you want to work that?
You can play part 1, and then when the recording stops, then I'll begin to read, because I have the document on my end.
Okay, that works. Alright, you want me to play that now?
Yes, please.
Okay, hold on, one sec.
October 21st, 1621. My name is Elizabeth
you ready to start?
Now I am going to bed.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yes, I am going to bed. When you're ready.
Sorry. Okay. I'll play it, give it 5 seconds, and then you could start. Okay, your camera's on? Yes, okay.
October 21st, 1621. My name is Elizabeth Tilley, and I am 16 years old. I have taken up quill pen and paper to record the details of our journey and how we came to the New World. Years ago, a group of people called Saints fled England because the King of England, King James, wanted them to go to the church that he said to go to. The Saints believed that the church of the King was not worshipping God in the way that God wanted, so they made their own church. But soldiers came again and again to put the Saints or the Puritans in jail. But by and by the leader said, "We are good English folk, and we are turning Dutch. Spies are looking for William Brewster, one of our leaders. So let's go to the New World. The New World is America, North and South America." So they went to a town in England, and the Saints and people who wanted to leave England for adventure or a fresh start boarded 2 ships, the Speedwell and the Mayflower. So we sailed away to America. But the Speedwell began to leak, so both ships turned back. Once back in England, we tried to have sailors fix the Speedwell, but after a time, they said it was not safe to sail on that ship. So some people left, and those that still wanted to come crowded onto the Mayflower. 102 people were crowded onto that one small ship. We got along all right until we reached the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. A great storm came upon us, and the Mayflower pitched dangerously amongst the waves. Wind and rain beat down, and we were cramped below deck. It was bad enough to be spread out above and below deck, but all of us crammed below deck was unbearable. The air was warm and stuffy, and there was no peace and quiet to be found. One young man, John Howland, went above deck for some fresh air. Suddenly the cry rang out, "Man overboard!" All of us looked at each other, scared and surprised. Some men hurried above deck to help, but most of us stayed below where it was safe. Soon John Howland was saved. The Saints praised God for the deliverance of the young man.
Okay, that's part 1 done. Are you going to read the next part of it?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Gradually the storm went away, and it was good to not have the ship rocking back and forth dangerously on the waves. The journey continued, but we all grew tired of hard cheese, meals, dried meat, and a few other things. 66 days after we had set the sail, the cry echoed, "Land ho!" We all looked so excited. Land, land at last, dry ground instead of the continual rocking of the ship. We sailed into the harbour as far as we could go, and the sailors dropped anchor. In time, but soon we had a common house. A common house was like a congregation, a place to meet and pray, and also a house for the sick. That winter was hard. 52 people died. When the spring came, Indian came to help us. Squatter was friendly and taught us how to plant better in this country. We made friends with the Indians, and we had a wonderful harvest. We never could have survived without God's blessing and the Indians' help. So we decided over day feasting and thanking God for all He had given us. 90 Indians came to the feast. I felt truly thankful for all that God had given us. We had a home in the new land, and the Indians would continue to help us as long as we were kind to them. God had blessed us, and it was right to give thanks for all He had given us. William Bradford said a prayer, and all of us began to feast on what you now call Thanksgiving Day. Have a very happy Thanksgiving.
All right. Thank you very much, Cassandra, for that. Now, for the next part of your presentation, there was another part. If you wouldn't mind explaining that, and if you can, try to turn your camera back on to explain what's exactly next in your part of the presentation. Thank you.
The next is the little kids doing the activity with reading the diary page that I sent you, and then writing with a sentence with a quill pen, and then the rest with a normal pen about their Thanksgiving.
All right. We'll have them do that next. Britt, the activity for them doing the.
Well, yeah, you can use really any kind of feather, any bird that has like this kind of feather. Like you look at the, if like you look at the pigeons outside, you can use a pigeon feather too. Because I know Mia and Fausto, you picked up some pigeon feathers the other day, and wanted to use that. You can use that too. You can use it too, John. And the way, and here's like we have a little bag of like what's called charcoal. It's little powder things to make. Hold on. We have a little bag here. It's dry ink. So then when we mix it with water, you get this liquid ink. You know the thing that you have in your pencils, the black thing that you guys have in your pencils? That's called ink. So this, we have it in a little bottle. So let me pass it around. Let me see.
Let's look, guys. Here. Now we have it here in the pencil. Before, they didn't have pencils. So they had to do it like this.
So when you go, so yeah, so that's the liquid ink. Here's it dried. So you take the warm water and you mix it in with this, and then it'll become into that liquid. So before they write with these little feathers. You dip it in and then you write it. So you guys are gonna write your names with a feather.
You're gonna write your name with a feather? That's silly.
So
That's just silly. Oh, with the ink? No way.
Yes.
I want to use a pencil.
No.
All right, let's try it.
okay, so we only have 4 feathers, so you guys are gonna have to take turns.
Who wants to go first? Oh, Fausto's hand was up first.
Joviana,
sit down.
All right, so Fausto and Mia come up.
No, one at a time.
Well, no.
One at a time.
Okay.
One at a time.
Okay, so you take this.
Smart. Because it's Okay, we're almost done with doing all the writing, and then we'll pray and we'll go do our meal. And then Jesse will present, and then we'll eat.
All right. As far as I was told, Jesse would like to present something.
Sit down.
If you guys would turn your camera on and then let him present, that would be great.
Okay, now our camera isn't working.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We need you to drop and then call back. All right, are you ready?
Ready.
All right, here we go. Hello, I'm Squanto.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Can you see him?
It's spinning.
Okay.
Wait a minute, Jess.
Hang on, just
We're gonna drop it one more time and then bring you on back.
okay. Are you there?
We're here. Go ahead, present there, Jesse Meister.
Hang on. Okay, go ahead. Are you working?
Let's see. Hello, honey. Oh, sorry. Right on, Squanto. Woo! There you go.
Is that Squanto?
Squanto missed. Let's try again.
We're waiting for you, Squanto. We want to hear what you have to say.
I got 2 in and 2 missed.
Gotta tell them what you're shooting. He had to go and fetch his arrows.
Where did you get your arrows?
The girls know! They got them!
You're supposed to say that you crafted them.
I didn't craft them!
Nice shot, Jeff. Such a nice shot. Okay.
The kids here said that they couldn't craft by themselves.
Happy Thanksgiving! Happy Thanksgiving!
All right. Happy Thanksgiving to you also. All righty, everybody. Was that great? Was that the greatest? Did everybody learn? Yay! Now we got something really special. Remember, what did we make earlier? What did we make? Food. What kind of food? Delicious food. What was it? What? Everybody sit. All right. What was Alyssa? What was one of the ingredients that we used in the first thing? Turkey. Oh, okay, we used turkey. What else, Mia? Johnny? Green beans. What? No, tomatoes. Those are terrible. Broccoli, ew. Sasha Washa, what else did we put in there? Shh. Sit. What about in the pie? What did we put in the pie? There were 3 things in the pie. What were the little red things? They were berries, but they weren't blue. What color were they? Red berries, cranberries. What else did we put in there? What was that black stuff? Mia. Sugar! Woo! What else did we put in there, Johnny? No chicken, it's Thanksgiving. We put berries, sugar, cinnamon. All right. Well, we're going to taste everything, but what do we have to do first?
Eat our food.
No, before we eat anything, what do we always have to do? Pray. All right, let's pray, everybody.
Okay, stand up.
All right, so let's all pray. So then we can sit down and eat some good grub. We're not eating grubs; those are bugs. All right, let's pray. Avinu Malkeinu, our Father, our King. Shush! I'm praying now. When we pray, we're quiet. We give reverence to the King of Kings. We do not talk. Avinu Malkeinu, our Father, our King, we thank you for this beautiful day. We thank you for the opportunity to even have a Thanksgiving. We thank you each and every day in this land that you brought us all to. May it once again come back to what it originally was, in a place that gives you thanks and honor. May we always remember how these people, this group of people, wanted to serve you. And they were doing the best they can, like in the book of Nehemiah. Yeah, they did a few things not perfect, but their hearts were true.
And that's why we're still talking about them today, 400 years later. So we thank you, our Father, in Yeshua and the Ruach HaKodesh, for bringing us all together today. Let us remember your goodness each and every morning when we see the sun come up, and the blessings that you shower upon us. In your name, Yeshua. Amen. And everybody said, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. All right, great job, everybody, on the net. We'll put the video up in a week or so.
Shalom. Happy